Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talk indeed. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that, fam? What's going on, fam? Who that to the family in the building? Good to see some of the Sports Coma family members in the building. Who that? What's going on, family? Welcome to the show. Sports Coma live. TSC number 73 in the building. The Saints take care of business in epic proportion against the Carolina Panthers. 42-10, they demolished the Panthers. Run them up out of here as we move forward. Who that to all the beautiful black and gold family members in the building. Big ups. Welcome to the Sports Coma. We are known as the Great Saint Think Tank. I like to thank all the family members for chiming. We had a few issues starting the podcast off. And I like to say what's happening to all the beautiful black and gold family members in the building, man. Who that to you? To you and yearns on this fantastic regular season finale, the absolute demolishment of the Carolina Panthers as the Saints do their LSU versus Oklahoma impression. Literally just destroyed, utterly annihilated the Carolina Panthers. This is what it was supposed to look like in game number 1, by the way. This is exactly what it was supposed to look like the first time we took on the Carolina Panthers. It was supposed to look like this. As you can tell, the month of December football has been absolutely phenomenal. Of course, they had a close loss to the 49ers, but the Saints have been in playoff mode since the San Francisco 49ers game. And that is that's par for the course in this one. And it's just great and beautiful football, despite the fact that you're missing 3 of your starting defensive backs. The Saints still 40-burger this team and hold them to 10 points. They harass the quarterback, by the way, Kyle, whatever his name is, the first quarterback we tore apart, that guy basically quit. There wasn't nothing wrong with his leg. Nothing wrong with it. He grabbed his leg. He was stinking up the field, and that was his way to get off. But, I mean, we demolished him. We demolished the backup who came in. It was just phenomenal, man. The Saints are in playoff-minded football. This is what they are synced and dialed in. Drew Brees had a phenomenal game as well. The Saints looked balanced defensively. They got after the quarterbacks. They went after, they stuffed the run. They got turnovers. I mean, it was fantastic. This is the best game that I've seen in a long time that New Orleans actually went down there to Carolina and beat. They kind of struggle and stammer against Carolina going there, but this is the first game where they just annihilated that team. And we know they don't have Cam, and we know they don't have some of their other players, but still in all, the Saints just annihilated this team. They annihilated them. And much credit has to be given to Coach Payton and the staff as they got other players involved in the offense, namely Traquan Smith. We'll go over that in today's affair. Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, and we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q if you don't know. This is the Sports Coma, the #1 independent Saints broadcast in the land, podcast in the land. Been going at this thing for 5 years, and this is live stream number 73, show number 483 of those things as we continue to roll forward on this one. Saints demolish the Panthers 42-10. We'll recap it with stats, facts, breakdown. We'll also have the interview of Coach Payton, Drew Brees will chime in. We'll go over some numbers, and we'll then slide into the live chat, questions, concerns, comments. I'll open up the live line so the family can chime in with their thoughts. We'll go over some of the playoff scenarios because Green Bay beat Detroit in the last minute by a field goal. So Green Bay is definitely going to have probably the top seed in the playoffs. You will hope Seattle take care of business against the 49ers in a couple hours. And then that'll give you the second seed. But in terms of you getting the first seed, Green Bay is going to get that. You can only hope for the second seed right now. So that's what happened when you don't take care of business. But regardless or not, we're going to have to go just like you went on the road to Carolina and Jacksonville and Chicago and won these games on the road by running the ball, playing smart, keeping your turnovers down, and forcing turnovers, being on the right side of that equation. You're going to win games every time. The Saints are absolutely playing a phenomenal football. And that is the kind of football you want to play heading into the playoffs. So this is terrific. We'll see where they land later on tonight because there's no Monday night games in the last week of regular season week of football. So I'm give a shout out to Larry Williams, the first in the chat. Who that to you, Larry? CSG 1027. Who that to you, Scoob? Who that to you, my dog, Scoob? Brandon Davis. Big up to you, Brandon. Who that 504 boy? Charles Mayfield is in the building. Mr. Brown said, let's get it. Who Big Q. What up, Mr. Brown? Good to see your family. Tramal, who that to you, Tramal? Who that 504 boy says the Packers just proved that we really don't want that. They don't want that smoke with the Saints. Yeah, they ain't won't come down here. You're going to have to go up there. Just carry your running game and your defense and you'll be fine. Jerome, who that T said, did y'all see the fix on Ohio State yesterday? That was a messed up call. That's why that coach was pissed off. But, trust me, that was a really bad call. That really hurt Ohio State. But they had Dabo Sweeney running his mouth talking about nobody won't see Clemson in there, but they helping them get there every year. Get out of here with that. Clemson don't play any damn body in the whack-ass ACC. They go up against Ohio State. They played a good game because the quarterback is a pretty good quarterback. But you're running into a buzzsaw when you did that defense cannot handle. I'm not going to go to it. We're going to recap it on Tough Tiger Talk, fam. Brandon said them Lions, I tell you. Jerome said, did y'all see the fix on? Yeah, I just read that. Troy Thompson, who that to your family? 985J in the building, who that to your fam? Paul, who that to you? Sammy Johnson said, Sammy Johnson, who that nation? Bring on anybody that sings supports to make noise in the playoffs. Don't care where we play. That's right, Sammy. That's the right mentality to have, man. No doubt about it. No matter if you're a true champion, no matter where you go, you got to go to the cold and freezing hell of Green Bay just to get something done. Then that's just what you're gonna have to do. If you're a champion, you got to carry it with you. Thank you, Sammy. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, fam. Tramal says that the Saints got to go on the road. We land a smackdown. Jerome said whoever was calling the play, the last minute of the Lion game need to be fired. They get the turnover, then can't convert it. That's why the Lions stink and suck. That's why they garbage. They gonna get the turnover and then give it right back to Aaron Rodgers. What you think he gonna do? It's Aaron Rodgers. Who that to you, Raymond Burks? Who that to you, Troy Thompson? Who that, Donovan Grayson? Who that to you? Please hit the like button, family. Thank you, Mr. Brown. As you chiming into the live stream, fam, please hit up the like button if you haven't already. Big ups to Joy and Isabella and the live stream. Soldier for God 77. Who that to you? Says we need Seattle to win. Let's see. Jax the Saint. What up, fam? To you too, Jax. Who that? Okula McGee. Who that to your family? Good to see you, Okula. Let's see who else we got here in the chat. Daryl is snarling. Good to see your family. Let's see who else we got. Jerome says, I like our chances to get anybody on the road. Mr. Brown said Harris is going to be the game changer in the playoffs. Number 11. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Also, all the beautiful family members chiming in as well. We got a bunch of them chiming in, and I'm just going to give a shout out before we started to the family. GLC Systems, who that to your family? The Truth says Traquan Smith had a good game. Definitely good to see. Nate 2 times says who that Q? Who that to you too? Nate, good to see you. Let's see what the rest of the family. True Warrior, greetings, he said. Greetings to you, to that True Warrior. Viral 504. What up, fam? It been a while. Good to see you, fam. Let's see. Sad Scott, who that to you, Sad Scott? I see your family. Audit the Fed, good to see you, Audit. In the building, Truth says this was Traquan Smith's best game of the season, no doubt about it. Baraka Longmire, good to see you, Baraka. Abraham Austin, who that to you as well. Charles says, Q, you ain't never lying. Will Grill was wanted out of there. I mean, he wanted that dude. You could look at the replay. They ain't the way he grabbed them and pulled them down. And he just, and he rolled up and he never even touched his leg, but he grabbed his leg and then pretended to walk off. That's how he got out of the game. What a chump and a sucker that guy was for that. You gutted through. Couldn't do it. That's why that's why you're a third stringer. Kevin Howard, who that to you? JCL System says, I love how we 13-3, we still hungry. Remember we just said that? Why the Saints couldn't be 13-3? They did it last year. They 13-3 again. That's 2 consecutive years of 13-3. That's pretty damn good, man. That's pretty good. Robert Bro, who that to you? Steve Wynn, who that to you? Purple Knight, good to see you, Purple Knight. Who that to you as well? Chris Moorhead, good to see your family in the building. Says, who that crew? We playing for playoff ball now. That's right. Viral 504 says Saints broke a regular season record for fewest turnovers in the season. That is absolutely amazing. I did not realize that. And that's big stats. I guarantee you they won't talk about that. Okay, to Evan, what up, Evan? Who that to you? Teal the legend, who that to you? Teal, I see you. And all the beautiful Black and Gold family members, Gajil Sessions, chiming in. Larry F. Dickerson Sr., good to see you. Otis Jackson III, and all the family members chiming in the building. We're going to get started with this one, family. Please hit the like button as we move into it. Sean C., I see you, Sean. Good to see my dog, Sean Sims, in the building. Man, this was a great game. This is a really nice game. This is a dominating win, taking you into the playoffs no matter where you may end up, because obviously we know about Green Bay. They occupy one of those spots right now based on who wins tonight, the San Francisco 49ers or the Seahawks. The Saints will get an opportunity to get a bye in the first week, which will go a long way if you ask me. But it was relaxing. It was really good to see a lot of these players that were out for multiple games come back. And it's like they never skipped a beat. We seen Kiko Alonso come in mad and just tearing up stuff. We seen great play from Patrick Robinson again. He was solid in the game. We seen him play. PJ Williams. Didn't I tell y'all PJ Williams make a better safety than corner? Remember we said that weeks ago about PJ Williams McCorn? People said, Q, you never be no good safety. And I said, man, I know a safety when I look at one. I know a safety when I look at one. I say PJ Williams loves to hit. He's a terrific tackler. And what did he do in this game? PJ was coming from the backfield, hitting suckers, wrapping them up. You know, PJ looked really good as a safety. Who that to you, Jarrell? I see you, fam. Shedrick. Who that to you, my boy Shedrick in the building at the Great Saints Tank. Hit the like button, family. And for those who are not subscribers, hit the subscribe button as well. And welcome to the Great Saints Tank, man. This is the Sports Coma, man. We like to do it big here. Got some of the greatest black and gold minds in the building. But we talked about that, didn't we? It's almost like we got a crystal ball and we just like peering in the ball saying stuff. Man, we know what the hell we looking at. And then all of a sudden, PJ Williams running around there making plays at the safety, looking way better than he did at the cornerback. Man, I know football, man. I know. How many of these shows we done did, man? Don't it appear that we know what we talking about, family? Don't it know? I mean, but come on, we're going to keep it moving. 42-10, big win. Carolina, we're going to do that. We'll go over some stats first, family. I'm going to turn around and hit you with some interviews. I got Drew Brees and Coach Payton chimed up. Coach Payton going to talk about this great win. Who that to you, Demi? I see you. Viral 504 News says Janoris Jenkins and P-Rob got me so confident about the postseason. Janoris got a pick in the game. Timothy Wilkinson, who that to you, said, what is going on with the Who Dat Nation? No matter what seed we get, we're going to the postseason and take care of business. This is the way you go to the postseason, by destroying inferior competition. 42-10 smash down, and look at the rest of the goddamn games rolling around as the Saints and Drew Brees the whole month of December leading into the playoffs just tearing up everything. No interceptions, touchdowns left and right. Absolutely amazing, man, and really phenomenal. Well, we're going to start off by getting into some of the statistics, fam. We're going to start off first by hitting like some of the statistics. This side look at first down, Saints 25-16 in the first down camp. In the first down battle, you can see right there the third down efficiency. Saints was 4 of 11, 5 of 16. Carolina total plays, Saints 67 versus 69, 379 total yards, 329 versus them. Saints averaged about 6 yards a play. Carolina just shy of 4.8 passing yards, 264 versus 288. But that's all they could do is wing it. They were totally one dimensional after Saints took it from them. Saints had, 2 sacks in the game. They ran for over 100 yards, and it was pretty good. Now, you bounced this is the individual stat. Drew Brees finished 19 of 30, 253, 3 touchdowns, no sacks, 123.3 rating. Latavius Murray was the top back, 17 carries, 61 yards, 4 yards attempt almost. Alvin Kamara, 8 carries, 39 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 yards attempt. Traquan, 5 catches, 56 yards, 11 yards a catch, a touchdown. And the rest of them look good. Michael Thomas, 4 catches, 37 yards. Jared Cook had another touchdown, 2 catches for 44 yards. Taysom, 1 catch for 44 yards, a touchdown. Everybody's saying this man is not a wide receiver. Sure looked like one of me. McCaffrey, 9 carries, 26 yards, 1 touchdown. He was completely shut down. And it was beautiful. You know, you see Justin Hardy was the top tackler there. And then you have Janoris Jenkins playing out of his mind. 5 tackles. He had a pick in the game as well. Remember, Myro Edwards Jr. and Cam Jordan had sacks in this game on this team. It was pretty good. Patrick Robinson, 4 tackles on the day. 4 for PJ Williams from his safety position. Just really good. Myro Edwards played well. Marshawn Lattimore looked decent. DJ Swearinger had 3 tackles in the contest as well. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had a couple of tackles. You look at the special teams options right here. You see that Deontay Harris, 2 returns for 19 yards. Will Lutz didn't have to kick. Thomas Morstead, 6 punts, 283 yards. He put 2 of the 6 inside of the 20, with the longest being a 58-yarder. So it was just absolutely phenomenal, just to be honest with you, how the Saints were able to do things the way they did against the Carolina Panthers, just to make sense of it. This was a pretty damn good game. Really good game, just to be honest with you, in terms of what they did. Now, truth be told, you look at what Sean Payton did in the running situation, and I was really like slick-side impressed how they were able to get the run. Now, this is what it's supposed to look like. Notice he gave the ball to Latavius Murray 17 times. This is a land break situation. I'm a detail-orientated guy. I pay attention to stuff. Latavius Murray in this game, probably, I have to go back over, but I'm going to say he had more carries than he ever had as a Saint. 17 carries for 61 yards, average 3.6 yards on the rush, but he got him going. Alvin Kamara, 8 carries for 39 yards. Of course, you know, he got a couple of carries late, but this was a good mix how Sean Payton was mixing up Latavius Murray and Elvin Kamara in there. I really like what he was attempting to do. He got Traquan Smith going, 5 targets, 5 catches, 56 yards in the score for Traquan, average 11.2 yards on the catch. And then the only other receiver with multiple catches besides Mike Thomas, who had 4 for 37. Pretty minor game, but he's padded stacks in terms of adding more receptions to that record that he already had for the regular season. Just 37 reception yards. Josh Hill finished with 3 catches for 35 yards. Kamara 2 for 18, 2 for 44 for Jared Cook, 1 catch for Taysom Hill for a touchdown. It did pretty good. Even Ted Ginn Jr., sorry, Tail got into it, had a catch for 10 yards in the game. So this was a pretty, this is what the Saints are supposed to look like, moving ahead. They just ran right through the Carolina Panthers. They demolished them the way they were supposed to and took them literally apart in this game. And that was some of the statistics, breaking that down now. Before we move into any more in-depth analysis, I'm going to play some Coach Payton in a moment and let Coach Payton kind of talk to you guys about what a great win this was in Week 17 as Coach Payton.
Anything?
Can you speak more on the fast start you had? Because I know when you come in a game like this, a team doesn't have much to play for in Carolina. You kind of
Well, look, we tried to focus really on playing our best game. In really each of these call it the last quarter of the season, really preparing to play playoff football, and I thought we started fast, so that was encouraging.
So how do you like how we're playing right now going into the
Look, I think good. I was pleased with the second half of last week. I was pleased with how we started this game.
Did you guys take a minute to watch the
We watched the end of that. It was on one of the TVs in there. Obviously a close game. We'll see what happens tonight. And look, those are things you can't control, so we'll be ready with either scenario.
I would imagine, based on how you guys have been playing over the last half of the season, it doesn't really matter where you play because you feel confident about how this team.
Yeah, you just find yourself, after you've done this long enough, to focus on the things you can control. Fortunately, we're in a position to be in the postseason. We know we're going to be playing a home game. Those are positives.
initial thoughts on how the secondary did today?
Well, we'll look at the tape. I thought overall pretty well. We had some moving parts, and we had a handful of guys not going. We got a few guys back from injury. That was encouraging, and overall, I was pleased.
So there's a couple games today where teams just you think they'd be blowing teams out, and it ends up being a close game, or they lose a game. How hard is it to come in Week 17 with the stakes the way they are and put together a dominating?
Yeah, look, we're playing for a lot. I can't speak for the other games, but I felt like our players understood that. We wanted to get our 13th win. That's hard to do. So we felt like we took the approach all week where we were, really working on our edge. In preparation for when the postseason starts.
So what find if there's an advantage when you do have something to play for, you have something on the line in a game like this rather than having nothing?
Well, look, it's hard to play this game if you're not emotionally and physically ready. In other words, there's times when seeding's been established that that we've sat players, and that's a different picture. But I thought, look, from the minute we got here, I thought we handled it right. I thought our pregame was on point, and I felt like we were ready to play, and I was glad to see it.
Sean, what does it say about the NFC that you're 13-3, maybe the 3 seed?
Look, in 2006 we won 10 games. We were the 2 seed, so it varies sometimes.
You mentioned winning 13. How significant is that for you winning 13 games? It's hard to y'all done it back to back.
Just want to win more than we lose. You want to win each time you play, and I don't know that that's a certain benchmark goal. I think the first goal is winning your division. The second goal is getting the best possible seed you can get. It's just hard to do in this league.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Back-to-back seasons, the consistency of winning that many games, it's very rarely done in the league by anybody.
Yeah. Listen, I was pleased with these guys, their effort. I couldn't, again, I thought it was, I thought we had a good week. We weren't in pads during the week, and yet our periods were crisp, and we got outside some. That was important.
How
Yeah, look, he made a heck of a catch today. He's got a big catch radius. Man, I love to see how he's playing right now. And you know, last week he had a significant game, and a few weeks back, prior to him, you know, going out of the game, he was already had 2 touchdowns. So he's a big part of what we do.
Sean, can you comment on the play of the defense since that 49ers game? I mean, it was 48 points.
There's some injuries, but those guys have done well.
That's Coach Payton, man, breaking down the game in the way he can, talking about a bevy of different things, not to mention the fact that much love has to be given to the New Orleans Saints defense. The fact that I cannot reiterate the fact that you lose 3 of your 4 starting defensive backs and you turn in a performance where you just shut them completely out. Now, of course, the offense did its part by stockpiling the points, forcing the Carolina Panthers to basically become one-dimensional. But still in all, not allowing them to score, getting interceptions, knocking the quarterbacks around. You know, it was, you know, halting the run. The defense was brilliant. The defense was exceptional. And you got to give them big love for that, because if you look ahead, you see spanning into, you know, the picture of having so many different personnel people moving around, not knowing totally the defense. DJ Swearinger had 3 tackles in the game. Janoris Jenkins played well. He had multiple tackles and an interception, the first of his career as a Saint, and the 5th of the season for him. 60-something tackles, 5 interceptions. Pretty good for Janoris Jenkins, you know, to kind of seal the deal against Carolina. Let's not get it twisted. We knew Carolina wasn't going to be a world beater. You know, they were missing so many parts and pieces. But they still have McCaffrey. McCaffrey got his record, but we also got ours, which is 13-3 for the 2nd consecutive year. Big ups to Electric Club, Shocker, and the rest of the family chiming in. Leo Stewart, I see your family. Kevin, I see your fam. Good to see your fam in the chat. Ernest Adams Jr., good to see you, Ernest, in the building as well. And the rest of the family members chiming in. Mr. Who Dat to you as well, fam. I'm good to see you in there as well. Now, it's just terrific, man. This was a pretty damn good win, if I had to say so myself. We're looking ahead at the next big things that we have to face in the playoffs, and we don't know exactly who we're going to line up against. It really doesn't matter to me in terms of who we get if we finish as the 2nd seed, because you can't go no higher than 1 right now. You know, but it matters not to me, and I'm just going to keep it real with you. It don't matter to me. You know, we just have to take care of business where we just, I mean, it's just what it is. When you put yourself in a position, like we put ourselves in a position, we just got to handle business like we know we're supposed to. I mean, bottom line, that's what it comes down to. So, I mean, outside of that, don't matter to me, family. You know, that's the thing. You would ideally want home field advantage in the playoffs. That's ideally what you would want. But Kendrick, who that to you? I see you, Kendrick. Zach, who that? K Slim 17, Nola Nerd, Cody, Animosity. What is that? Bunch of family just chimed in real quick. Let's see. Let me get that right. I know I got the family there. Nolan Nerd, Cody, Animosity, S3, Damone Horton. Good to see your family. All the beautiful Black and Gold family members joining into the Great Saints Think Tank. Please hit the like button, family, if you hadn't already hit it. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. It's good to see all the family members in the building. And like I said, man, about this win, I love the use of using Latavius Murray the way they did, mixing him with Kamara. They didn't tire him out. Going to Traquan Smith in this one to kind of build him up, because now it's the focus on the wide receivers outside of Michael Thomas. Right before the playoffs, though. Same stuff we've been saying. Same stuff we've been saying all season long. Finally, they're implementing. We talked about P.J. Williams' conversion to a safety before it wasn't even a thing. Before it wasn't even a thing. Now it's a thing. Speaking truth to power, family. That's a real thing. It's called the power of the spoken word. It's almost like if you're in the religion, you understand when you read the book of Genesis, the first thing saying is, let there be this, let there be that. Speaking truth to power, speaking things into existence is a power that each one of us wield. And this is what we're doing here at the Great Saints Think Tank. Speaking truth to power. It matters not where we go or how we finish. We got to take care of business. Whether we go up to the cold hell of a frozen tundra of Green Bay and beat the hell out of Rodgers, run it all over him, knock them around. Whatever we got to do, we can do it. Or whether we got to take care of business at home, whatever. I don't care what it is. This is the path that we on. And if you're a champion, that's what matters the most, taking care of business. So that's my stance on it. Now, let's go to the next interview. We got Drew Brees chimed up here. He's going to talk about his Week 17 performance. And might I add, Drew Brees has been absolutely phenomenal this entire month of December. He has 3 more touchdowns to that total. He had 5 touchdowns, 6 altogether, but 5 throwing against the 49ers. That's 5. He had 4 the next game against the Colts. He had 4 against the Colts. I think that was yeah. He had 5 against the Niners, 4 against the Colts. That's 9. He had 3 against the Titans. That's 12. And then 3 again against the Panthers. That's 15. 15 touchdowns to 0 interceptions in the month of December for Drew Brees. You want to talk about somebody ready for some football? Drew Brees is playing on a Hall of Fame level. I've been saying that for the last several weeks, and he has arrived. You hadn't heard none of that stuff about we ain't playing our best ball. All that's done stopped with Drew Brees' contribution. But anyway, here's Drew. We got him chimed up. Here's his thoughts. Hearing Drew's thoughts about the big win over the Carolina Panthers.
Strong year in the NFC. You know, there's a few other teams out there that are in that position. I think it's rare to be 13-3 and potentially be a 3 seed, right? That happened to us back in 2011, right? So a lot of strong teams out there. I think it says a lot about our guys. I mean, just down the stretch here, I think we've been an ascending team. We've been playing a little bit better each and every week, and despite the fact that we've had some guys go down, we've had young guys step up or go sign veteran guys that have come in and played well for us. That happened today on the defensive side of the ball. A couple guys in the secondary. But listen, our goal is you always want to be in a position where you can control your destiny, right? And I think we did that. We have positioned ourselves to where hopefully there's a chance that we can get a first round bye. But if not, then hey, we're preparing for whoever we're going to play this week, and here we go.
You feel like you guys are an ascending team. What do you like best about the way you've been playing lately?
Well, I think we've been balanced on offense. I think we've run the ball effectively. We've been efficient in the passing game. We've started making some bigger plays in the passing game. With different guys. And I think overall just efficiency. All the things that you pay attention to that equate to winning football, taking care of the football, third down percentage. Red zone efficiency, all those things have been ticking up in the right direction, which is good. Defensively, those guys have been battling. Quite a few injuries, I think, over the last few weeks. Guys kind of, the lineup getting shuffled around, but guys stepping up, playing really well. I mean, played fantastic today, obviously, especially early on. And, for us to come on the road and win the way we have, I think the last 2 weeks, I think it says a lot about the team. Understanding that, good chance we have to go on the road in the playoffs, right, and do the same thing. So I think it's good from a confidence perspective there.
You talked often this year about the catch radius of Jared Cook. And
yeah.
He was talking about the back shoulder throw with the one hand.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't realize it was going to be that far behind you, but the fact that he made it look easy, it just kind of you show us again just how, I guess, great player he is at the position, how he can do everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you said it, big catch radius, right? So, Eric Reed's a big safety, and that's the guy who's on him, and yet you still feel like there's places where you can throw the ball where he can get it, nobody else can. And I think he tracks the ball well and does some really good things down the field too. So, big play last week, big play, this week on some of those down the field throws. Obviously, he's a big weapon for us.
Drew, you guys set the NFL record for fewest turnovers. Speaks to that efficiency, but 8
Yeah.
turnovers in a season seem pretty.
Yeah.
Preposterous.
I'd say that's probably the thing we're most proud of. When you talk about this offense, I think you talk about it being explosive, and you talk about these weapons and the pace at which we play, and just and so I think for us to be able to say that, yeah, and in addition to that, we also take very, very good care of the football. It's something we preach, it's something we work on, it's something that's always talked about and always stressed with what we do. So that that number alone equates to a lot of winning football, right? And then you combine that with some of the other things we've talked about, the balance and the efficiency in situational football and scoring points when you get the opportunity. Those are good things.
With so much up in the air
That's
for,
Drew.
playoffs,
That's Drew Brees, family.
take a look at
Drew Brees chiming in, family, about his thoughts on the game and talk about. I gotta correct Drew. It's not situational football. It's situational. Get it right. That's it. Like Coach Payton says it. It's situational. Situational football. Who that to your family? I see your money, Johnson. Who that to your money? I see your family. Good to see your fam in the building. We had Blazing Cess. Who that to your Blazing Cess? I see your family. Good to see all the beautiful black and gold family members in the live chat. Man, over 90-something people in the building. Hit the like button, family, for your boy. Appreciate y'all, man, for chiming in here. And I just like this is our recap show. And usually on the recap show, we hand out grades. And I do the grades thing toward the end of the live stream. But, man, Drew Brees put on a performance. Like I said, like I just tabulated. You look at Drew over the last month of football, starting with the 49ers game, which was a blessing in disguise, because it woke up the ferocity of the Saints team. And over the month of December, they've been cruise controlling it, dismantling after the 49ers game, taking apart all the rest of the teams, being pissed off, heading into the playoffs with a chip on their shoulder. Shouldn't that way to be, but it's still incomplete. We still have one half of the aspect left. We know what Green Bay is going to do. We still need to find out in a couple hours what whatchamacallit do, so we'll know exactly where we land, whether we'll be home on the wild card or whether we'll have a bye, getting ready for one of those other teams to go to Green Bay to take on Green Bay. By the way, either of which can beat Green Bay in Green Bay. No doubt about it. This is a situation where either one of the teams, that if the Saints draw the second seed, which is highly likely because San Francisco has been tooling up, getting ready to run. They're going to run beast mode at that 49ers defense. They're going to do something the goddamn Saints was too stubborn to do. Pete Carroll has more discipline in terms he's going to run that football at you. Pete Carroll's going. That's why he got beast mode and the other running back who used to be backs he could trust with that system. So Michael Sachs Jr., good to see your family. Thank you, Michael. Who that to you? Appreciate that. Iceman, who that to you, Iceman? I see your family. Valerie, I see you, Valerie. Who that to you? All the beautiful black and gold family members. Michael says, no respect. Breeze not top 100. Shaking my head. Keep hating NFL. That's what we used to, but that's not something that's totally beyond the realm of history. The Saints have always been hated as a football team, as a people, as a group, period. You always had to fight. Remember them old Crusaders with it was a lot of stuff going on, man. I don't want to get nobody no history lesson. But the reality at the end of the day is that this team is really showing something defensively speaking. And it's just, like I said, over the span of the season, listen, we going through it. We right up on it. Sometimes we can't truly appreciate it, but understand and know that this is a team of destiny. Look how we are winning games without our personnel. Three of your starting defensive backs were missing. Gone, hurt, couldn't contribute. You put a rookie back there named Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and a guy that don't play the safety position, and all you did was get two bad SOBs. PJ Williams should convert to a safety. Should never put him at a cornerback again. Never again. PJ looks great as that safety, like I said, and the family members agreed and said as well. But this is a team of destiny marching through. Winning games without solid personnel. You get all of your offensive line back, and they just dominate and run. Those runs were so easy. The defense, despite the fact we're missing two of our key people and Rankins and Davenport, still put on a worldly performance by getting to the quarterback, as Cam was just terrific. Demario Davis continues to step his game up, and then Kiko Alonso returns and had a phenomenal one. Then you take free agents like Swearinger and Janoris Jenkins and put them in there, plug them in there, and bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. What you got? A win, a 40-burger win to close out the regular season, and you get 13-3. Annihilation of the NFC South. And now you facing teams that's coming into the playoffs that you can definitely beat. The toughest and stiffest foe you probably will have an opportunity to face could be either the 49ers or the Seahawks. I see those as probably the two toughest, that you will have to deal with. But still in all, the reality is that New Orleans continues to whoop tail, man. I'm just proud of my team. Going to some of the chat. Steve, when I see you, fam. Sub-Zero, who that to your family in the building. Rest of the family members chiming in. I see the family in the building. Good to see y'all. And we got it crunk, man. Hit the like button, fam. They got almost 100 people in the chat. They really vibing off the fact that the Saints had a crucial win. And listen, for people that's a little nervous about where we're going for the playoffs, just relax and understand that the Saints have been showing you over the past month what this is. The fact that we are a critical team. Now let's go over the stats one more time for the family members that missed so far. We're almost about 47 minutes into our live stream. Let's go over the stats as it stand for the Carolina game, and brought to you by the Pro Shop. You can see it 25-16 Saints in the first downs. Of course, Carolina had 2 more plays. Total yards 379 Saints versus 329 by Carolina. You can see the Saints passing right there. They're rushing 264 versus 288, 115 versus 41. Completely shut them down. Red zone, they were 3 for 3 in the red zone. 1 of 3 for Carolina. The penalties were 3 for 44, 5 for 54 for Carolina. 3 penalties for 44 yards. Carolina had 3 turnovers in this game. Saints dominated. Look at the clock. 35 minutes on the clock versus 20-something, 24 minutes by the Carolina Panthers. 24-20. That's what I'm talking about. That is the clock, as opposed to beating teams time of possession by 3 minutes. The Saints dominated this team by over 10 minutes with the time of the clock. But the TOP, that's what I've been bragging on. Traquan Smith had a great game. 5 for 56 yards in the score. Latavius Murray, 17 carries, 61 yards. Drew Brees, 19 of 30, 253, 3 touchdowns, 123.3 on the rating. Big game indeed. McCaffrey, 9 carries to 26 yards. He was held. Justin Hardy got his lunch ate, though. Hardy was the top tackler there, followed by AJ Klein, who had a pick 6. Big ups to AJ Klein, who was balling. Thank you, AJ. Janoris Jenkins, 5 tackles in the pick as well. PJ had 4 tackles from his safety position. Patrick Robinson had 4 tackles. Craig Robinson had 4. 3 for Mario Edwards in the sack. Marshawn had 3. Swearinger had 3. JT Gray, Stalwart, Carl Granderson, CJG, Demario Davis, Malcolm Brown, Trey Henderson, and Cam Jordan. Trey Henderson all had 2 tackles. 1 tackle for Cam, which he had a sack as well. So as you can see, the Saints had a very special win in this game. They were able to take apart Carolina in a major capacity. But looking at the facts and the stats, the penalties were down. 3 penalties in this game for the Saints away. And that's because they took the referees out of the equation. They took the referees out of the equation. The referees could not help Carolina. Trust me, if it was close, they would try. But the Saints blew them out and took the referees out of the game. They controlled and dominated the clock, which is something I always said that we needed to do. TOP, time of possession, dominating these teams with the time of possession was something special. The Saints did that today. They ran the ball, they balanced, they got other players involved that we will need in the playoffs so that people don't double down on Mike Thomas all the time. You've seen Traquan Smith get a confidence boost. You've seen Jared Cook get another touchdown on it. And I think he has 9 touchdowns on it. He's tied with Mike Thomas in touchdowns this year. 9 touchdowns for Jared Cook. About 44 catches, but 9 touchdowns. That's the big stat. He's going to be a big player in the playoffs. He's a big guy. Trey Henderson looked pretty good in this one. Rustin Granderson played well as well. You seen Mario Edwards get a sack. Shy Tuttle was stuff in the middle as well. And the rest of the Saints defenders played well. Love seeing Kiko out there. AJ Klein looked inspired, leading the team with tackles. He read that quarterback's eyes, picked that ball off, went into the end zone. Almost had another interception too. Later on in the play, but AJ Klein was spectacular. DeMario looked good. So like I said, man, the Saints defense, offense, and special teams, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson had a few returns. Saints still not where they're supposed to be in terms of the kick return aspect. They still need to work on it. But let it be told that the Saints had a complete effort, and I just love the fact that they took care of the ball. They didn't have any turnovers. Drew didn't take a sack, and all they did was just perform to a highest level. And I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that, man. That was terrific. I go to the chat and read some of the comments, family, just to let the family members know the live line is open. Wine, good to see you. Wine is in the building as well. Let's see. Wine say DJ and Jackrabbit already fitting in well. Animosity S3 say almost don't want the Saints to have a bye. Keep them warm. Up play every week. We play all week off. Might be sloppy return. With that said, I'm fine with or without the number 2 seed. However land, we're gonna get it. Timothy say, I'm sorry, Kev, but you can't not deny the productivity since they have been out there. Great players for discrediting them. Just want what is best for the team. Revolt says Murray has 17 carries. Can you believe that? I mean, that's the most carries he's had all season long. This could bode well. This could be a small indication that some of the ramblings and the rumors, not rumors, but the information we was hearing that they're saving them for the playoffs. This could be an indication. Imagine that. Let's think about that for a second. 17 carries for Latavius Murray in the final game of the regular season. Is it an indicator that they'll start ratcheting up his carries in the playoffs, like one of the family members was saying, that he had got some inside information saying that they're saving Latavius Murray for a playoff run? 17 carries in the final game could mean that, if you have an imagination. Because why would he get so many carries toward the back end of the season? Think about that. That could indicate that. You know, if we critically thinking this thing, that could really be the case. Who that to you? Brees Huts, I see your family. Good to see you in the live chat as well. I mean, this was just awesome. Like I said, the Saints played this game really well. I just really loved the game, how it went. Now, just to let some of the family members know that the live line is open here at the Sports Coma. The live line is open. A quick synopsis that we went through the stats, facts, and breakdown. Played both Coach Payton and Drew Brees post-game interviews and thoughts on the game. Went through the stats once again, and now we taking call-ins, and I'm going to read from the chat until the call come. So the live line is open. Who that to you, Adrian? Good to see you in the chat. Adrian in the building. Good to see you. And we're going to go run down some of the chats here for some of the family members if they have any questions, concerns, or comments that are in the building. Let's see. All right, let's see here what the family says. Electric Cub Shocker says Brees did it outdoors. They say Brees sucks outside the dome. Brees is a good quarterback no matter where he plays. You give him time, he'll cut you up. Bottom line. I don't know who's saying he sucks outdoors. Leo says we need the 49ers to lose. He says, and of course I had DC, who was one of the boys, one of the guys. He sent me a text me today and sent me an article from, I forgot, Bleacher Report about the Saints was impressed with Antonio Brown. And I'm saying that because I see some of the family members in here saying sign him. You know, they were impressed with his workout, but it's too convoluted, too much stuff around him, man. Too much stuff around him. Let's see here. Let's keep it going here. Read some of the comments. Live line open, family. The live line is activated for family members that won't chime in. 504-475-4482. 504-475-4482 is the live line. Mr. Who that says, I still think we get the number 2 seed if the Seahawks win tonight, which I'm confident will happen. No doubt about it. They're going to give it their best leg, no doubt about it. Remember, they're gearing up with running backs to hit the 49ers who are susceptible at the run. That's something that we were supposed to do. But that is what they're going to do. 9-1-1, who that to you? But that's something that we have to, that Seattle's not going to pass up. Remember, Seattle plays the 49ers. That's their division rival. They know their weaknesses, and they know they can win the game if they just run the ball. Well, you went and got Marshawn Lynch, excuse me. Not Lattimore, Marshawn Lynch. They went and got Marshawn Lynch, and Marshawn Lynch is the guy that's going to run that freaking ball. Then they're going to hit you with the play action, and they're going to tear you up. So it's a good chance they could win the game, but all the Black and Gold Nation is going to be with their eyes tuned to that 49ers Seahawks game tonight. Big game. Ernest Adams Jr. says, roughing the passer with 140 left after the Lions choked on the TO. Yeah, yep. Kevin says he don't know the playbook unless Sean secretly gave it to him. Damon Hart says 42-10. Let's see. Dada, who that to you, Dada? I see your family. Throat Cutter, who that to you, Throat Cutter? I see your fam. Daron says, good thing we came out of this one healthy. You know, Let's see. Kevin says you never can count on 3-13 teams to do your dirty work. That's right. Zach Hudat says Green Bay does not feel like a 1 seed, let alone a 2. Very undeserving. I know. Weak scheduling and very clutch moments got them. That's why I say they're week number 1. And the only thing people worried about is the damn cold. That's all they worried about is the cold. Oh, we got to go up to the cold. Green Bay ain't. You don't have to worry about beating them. It's the cold. So you just have to focus on that. We have to take care of business. Who that to your LT? I see you in the building as well. Okay, Ernest Adams Jr. says Sean Payton is stacking offense for next season. AB, Mike T, Jared Cook, Brees may stay, which means Teddy B may seek greener pastures. He also said, I think AK has 1 foot out of the door and the other on the banana peel. Timothy Wilkinson says, what is your thoughts on what Drew will do after this season? I know his tweet to Brady said they will be back for a long time. Of course, Drew Brees, remember, Sean Payton and Drew Brees have been together for a long time. Sean Payton received a 5-year deal. Drew Brees is working on a 1-year deal. Mickey Loomis says that he's comfortable with working on 1-year deals with Drew. My thing is I would like the Saints to at least get a 1-year deal with an option for the 2nd year. Because the Saints win the Super Bowl this year, of course you're gonna come back to defend it. And I've put this on record. I've always said this for the last couple of years that Drew Brees is playing at a high level and he's not going anywhere. He's not, as I say, at least 2 years of Drew Brees, counting this year and next year. And then after next year, then you would look at him hanging it up. But this year and next year, we playing for Super Bowls. You got a Super Bowl team. Nowhere in the world you walk away from that, especially when the guy that you won so many games with is sitting up here at, who just received a 5-year contract. And the Saints do not have a clear backup or replacement or next heir apparent for him. They say it's Taysom Hill. I don't believe that. They says Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think they're going to pay him anywhere between $10 to $15 million next year just to sit behind Drew for another year. I think other teams will come in. I wouldn't be surprised if Teddy Bridgewater takes a cut to stay with the team, but to turn down the money that one of these teams going to offer him, a Chicago, a Denver, they're going to come offering him 30, 40, $50 million. He going to turn that down to stay as a backup for the Saints? We'll see. We'll see. We'll most certainly see. But I will see Drew here as long as Tom Brady. I've said that. Drew's not going anywhere as long as Tom Brady is. Remember, Tom is older than Drew. But he's not going anywhere as long as Tom Brady is playing football. Those guys, Brady has all the Super Bowls. Drew has all the records. And Brady's one of them type of dudes. He wants the records too. So it comes down. What's up, Tyvon? Who that to your fam? I see you. But that's what it comes down to. Drew Brees competing with Tom Brady. And we'll see. Hopefully we can get that kind of Super Bowl because I would love to spank Tom Brady in the Super Bowl out in Miami, to be honest with you. I think we can take them apart. Let's see. Let's keep it moving. Thanks for that question there, Timothy. Kevin says Jared Cook may be the missing piece if he stays healthy. Sad Scott says you absolutely right. Zach, who that Packs don't look like a number 1 or 2 seed. Zach said Brees will be here for a couple more years, in my opinion, if healthy, a record stay well. Kevin says that cold weather game make us pound the rock. That's right. Packers have 3 seed written all over them. Money Johnson says PJ got smoked a few times back there. Ugly ones would have been worse if they would have been catching the ball. Kevin says Gardner Johnson should never leave the field unless it's a commercial break. I mean, he's awesome, man. The dude is like, wait till year 3 on Chauncey Gardner Johnson, fam. Hit the like button, family. Thank y'all for chiming in. The Sports Coma. For those who are not subscribers, feel free to hit the subscribe button right now as I'm going through your chats. The live line is open and activated. Once again, family, live line is open. 504-475-4482. Give your thoughts on the Saints win over the Carolina Panthers. Who you think that the Saints are going to be playing next in the playoffs situation? Would they get the Brown, or would they have to? I mean, what are your thought processes on that as well? And of course, let's get to some of the grades here. I'm not ending the podcast. Let's get to the grade aspect of it. You're looking at some of the grades that we've seen making with the Saints: offense, defense, special teams, and coaching. In this one, man, everybody get A's. This is the easiest grade I ever did since I've been doing the grades after the post games. Everybody gets an A. I mean, seriously, everybody gets an A. Everybody gets an A. The Saints offense, A, defense, A, special teams, and coaching, everybody gets A this game. They played really well. The offense was excellent. They ran the ball. I appreciate that they got other people not named Mike Thomas and Jared Cook involved in the offense throwing the ball. I appreciate the fact that the defense got pressure on the quarterback. I appreciate defense stopped them from running the ball, basically shut McCaffrey down. I appreciate the fact that they had 3 the starters missing and 3 replacements in, and they still only allow 10 points. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that they had a pretty decent play on special teams as well to get a lot of the offense set up for that. So, and the fact that they went on the road and Peyton called a fair game. I love it. Saints 3-game winning streak heading to the playoffs, 13-3. They most certainly look like the top seed in the playoffs. Everybody else is kind of struggling and stammering. 49ers barely beating teams with last-minute field goals. The Seahawks have a wealth of injuries they're dealing with. Green Bay, we know Green Bay is kind of, they winning when they're supposed to, barely sneaking out some of these wins, having been a factor of a pretty soft schedule toward the back end. So A everywhere else. That's my grades. Pretty easy grades on this one. Demi says, who that nation, keep Carly McCord's family in your prayers. She lost her life yesterday en route to LSU game. Nancy Parker lost her life in August when her plane went down, and now Carly. Very sad. And prayers go out to Carly McCord's family. Man, that's a tough one. And Coach Ernst Sminger, big up, that's my condolences go out to their family. And of course, Nancy Parker as well, man. We talked about that. That's very tough. Thank you, Demi. Damone Hart says, have anybody heard Demario Davis pregame speech? I heard his pregame speech several times. I don't know about this one, what he said this game, but I've heard several of his speeches before. Sad Scott says, call him up and tell him what you want, Kevin. Ernest says, Pats took an L helping set up the Saints-Ravens Super Bowl. Zach Huda says 49ers over Eagles, Seahawks over Vikings, Saints over the Niners, Seahawks over Green Bay, Saints over Seahawks on to the Super Bowl only if the Seahawks beat the Niners. Dada says P-Rob looked like he did in Philly. I see why the Saints brought him back just out of nowhere. But you know what it could be also? He could be one of those players, and I'm talking about Patrick Robinson. He could be one of those players that elevate his play when it gets close to when it's time to do it. A switch went on because you were basically cold as a flounder, and then you went from being cold as a flounder to basically waking the hell up, exploding onto the scene, and he's been quite relevant ever since. So Patrick Robinson coming virtually out of nowhere and putting on a string of solid games is phenomenal, man. That goes a lot to Coach Glenn, the defensive back coach, and the assistant coaches working with those guys, getting them game ready, giving them the proper instruction to help them out. And the truth be told, Patrick Robinson has played in some playoff games. He has some experience. He, to a degree, knows what he's doing. And besides, he is a nickel back, so he's in his element there. And the fact that he's allowed to progress because PJ's moved to safety is also a bonus. So let's go to the phones. What's up, fam? Thank you for calling the Sports Coma. Who am I speaking with?
Sub-Zero.
What up, Sub-Zero? What's going on, fam?
What up, Q, man? Been a minute, huh?
Yeah, bro. What's good with you?
Man, look, enjoyed that thorough beat down today.
Yeah.
I didn't break no sweats watching that game today. That's how I wish all the games was, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you ain't raised a heartbeat. You ain't getting it. I mean, it was just basically chilling and watching and just smiling the whole way. That was a pretty good one. That wasn't nothing like the Titan game.
Yeah, not at all. That one had me pretty upset the first quarter. But I called in. I wanted to kind of further highlight what you were talking about, how Sean Payton used Latavius Murray today.
Okay.
I felt like he finally, how people were saying that, maybe he's saving them for the playoffs.
Right.
And honestly, today I kind of felt like that might have been true. Because it was kind of wet out there.
Right.
And he just, I think he was right. This the most touches he ever got in the game the whole year.
Yeah.
So I felt like we really did what we had to do. Like, as far as like Sean, imposing our will on the team And when it's sloppy, we can still throw the ball some, but we're strong enough up front to to get it done. And that travels everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That travels everywhere. So I was really, really, really pleased to see that game plan come to fruition. But I didn't like. It seemed like Michael Thomas was getting some way more contested. Balls. There's a lot of balls that end up on the ground that you typically don't see with Michael Thomas. So it kind of like reminded me of last year in the playoffs. Like he didn't get a whole lot. It's just tough. Like in playoff football, you can't throw it to one guy.
Right.
That's why the circus of AB going on. It's like, dude, like Sean Payton knows we got to have somebody. Even Traquan had a nice game today, but it's like we got to have somebody that's gonna step up. You can't complain about the 42 points, but this team ain't got nothing to play for.
Mm-hmm.
But some of those drives that did stall out, playing against a better team, you never know what kind of game you can end up in. Like the Panthers didn't have nothing to do on offense. That guy Will Greer is terrible.
Yeah, he was awful. And that's in my heart. I ain't gonna lie to you. That Sub-Zero. In my heart, when I seen that, when he went down after that sack and he grabbed his leg, and I was like, nobody touched that leg. And then he limped off the field. He faked the injury to get off. I'm telling you, man. I mean, because nobody touched that damn. The way he was sacked, his legs, nobody touched his leg. And all of a sudden, he just reached and grabbed it and then limped off the field. Get out of here, man. Yeah, you gave up out there.
Dude, he ain't want none of that action, man. That dude, Kyle Allen, tough.
Yeah.
I was mad when he came out the field because I felt like we was gonna get a shutout and Will Greer would have played the whole game.
Oh, we would have killed. They would have pulled him anyway, bro. They would end up pulling him. They would have pulled him out of there anyway, cuz he was a series of 3 from getting pulled out of there anyway. He threw that pick 6, and sooner or later, if he would have kept playing, he would have incurred a few more sacks, and ultimately, a few would have took him out. So he was a handful of plays of getting yanked out of there anyway, man.
I was like, we was hitting that boy today, boy.
Oh yeah,
we was hitting him.
Were we?
But let's talk about the playoff standings. So, of course, when I saw Detroit up, they was up 20 to 13 or something like that. When I checked them out, I was like, there's no way that they're gonna win this game. Like in my head, I was just like, they can't close out. They 3-11.
Right.
But I was like, sometimes you get blessings in disguise. I'm looking at the season, like everybody is scared to go to Green Bay because of the weather, like you were saying. It has nothing to do with football.
Right. That's what people are concerned about. Right.
And then I think in the way it's set up, you almost want them to be the number 1 seed, and you want Seattle to win tonight, because what'll happen is one of those teams, San Francisco or Seattle, go end up having to go to Green Bay first. Because 3 plays 6, right?
Right.
So let's just say hypothetically, Seattle wins. And then that'll put us in a 2 seed, and San Francisco be a 5th seed. So Seattle is going to beat the 6th seed, Minnesota. And then the 49ers are going to beat the 4th seed because they're terrible. Like Philly or Dallas is horrible. Right. So Green Bay is going to get the worst seed left. Who is that going to be? It's gonna be the 49ers. Like if Seattle wins, or vice versa.
But you're right, Sub-Zero. That's my commentary as well, bro. Is that if Saints get the 2nd seed, it don't matter who draws who the Packers gonna draw with the 1st seed. Ultimately, they're gonna lose in the 1st round because any one of those teams, not named the Cowboys or the Eagles, whoever that will finish out of the NFC East. The rest of those teams, well, I ain't gonna say because I don't think Minnesota could beat them, but everybody else from the Seahawks or the 49ers could take care of business on the road against the Green Bay Packers. It has absolutely nothing to do with football.
And that's why I'm pulling so hard for Seattle tonight, because I'll know for a fact we can still have home field advantage because I pretty much know Green Bay is going to lose. You know what I'm saying? And then next week, that other team is just better than them. The games that they're winning is like, come on, bro. Like, like they not, like that's a 13-win team, so you can't say they're just horrible. What it is like people tend to make bad play calls against them. They don't stick to the run against them for some reason. All they got is those Preston Smith boys, like I just never seen nobody just line up and just smash mouth them.
No, that's true. That's true, Sub-Zero. You're making some great points, man. But, the reason why they're 13-3, you look at the offense for Green Bay. They got a pretty damn good offense, to be honest with you. Aaron Rodgers, LaFleur built a pretty good offense. He drafted that little running back there. That running back makes it all go. Him and Aaron Rodgers, they give him that passing game, running game. Now, Aaron Rodgers basically have Devontae Adams and nobody else. It's Devontae Adams in the back, a bunch of backup wide receivers running around there. And then you got Jimmy Graham. That's what I was about to say. Jimmy Graham is there as well, so he floats around in there. And then you have the young running back, and they have a decent offensive line. So that's what I'm saying. Their offense is underrated, very underrated. They have a very good offense led by Aaron Rodgers. The defense is suspect because it's bad against the rush. They have good pass rushers, like the guy that came over, Smith, that came over from the Baltimore Ravens, number 55. He's pretty good. They have one interior pass rusher that's pretty solid, and I think Kenny forgot his name, but he's pretty good. The big defensive lineman in the center, and
number 97, I think.
Right, number 9. He's the nose tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot his name. Kenny Clark, I think his name is Kenny Clark. It might be. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I ain't scout their team yet. But outside of that, they're susceptible to the pass, and more susceptible to the run. So what I'm saying is a team like the 49ers who can run the ball, or Seattle who can run the ball, will give Green Bay fits. And you got to put pressure on Aaron Rodgers. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback, and you just got to be careful dealing with a guy like that. But the best way you beat a guy like that by running the ball, playing defense, keeping Aaron Rodgers on the bench. I mean, that's something that you got to do. But any one of them teams not named the Minnesota Vikings or the Dallas Cowboys or Philly, whoever makes it in there from their side, could beat the Green Bay Packers in their building.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just think it's setting up. It's like I just think either way it goes. Like, let's say the other way around, they'll put Seattle in the 5th seed. We will be 3 plays. So we get the Vikings if San Fran wins, and then I think we'd have to go to Green Bay in that situation. Which we're not scared of it because but because the 5th seed plays the 4th, and so they're gonna win. So so the left seed goes to 1. So that team will go to San Fran if San Fran wins. So we would have to go to Green Bay after our win next week if the 49ers win. But we're not worrying about that. But I'm just saying if Seahawks handle business tonight, and we got a really good shot of having home field advantage. Like, even though we're ready no matter what happens, but I just think it'll line up pretty good for us if Seattle wins tonight.
No doubt about it. It gives you the bye because you won't leapfrog Green Bay, but you'll finish as the 2nd seed, which is the best you can hope for at this current juncture of time. And if Seattle goes to the 3rd seed, and that puts the 49ers as a wild card going and whatever. But like I said, regardless, whoever, if it's San Francisco or Green Bay, San Francisco or the 49ers, depending on where they fall, their seeding fall, and they have to face, let's say if they fall and not against each other, but they fall against the other opponent, any one of those teams can go up to Green Bay and beat them. But if they don't take care of business, just forever know right now, because they're the number 1 seed, and we didn't take care of business when we were supposed to. Now we got to hope and all this kind of stuff that Seattle take care of business to give us an opportunity to get back into the bye. We could utilize the bye because we got some players that's banged up, and we could look really good coming out that bye with a home game in a divisional round, and it definitely shortens the playoffs for you by 1 game. You don't have to play that crucial third. You know what I'm saying? You can, and then that 3rd game, not playing that 3rd game. A lot of people just say it's a bye, we can get healthy. Listen, it's also a bye where you can't get hurt. That's a bye where you can't get nobody hurt. Right, because if anybody gets hurt in the wild card round, you dueling in depth. Because these teams, this is a form of desperation. It's the finality to it. So they're going to throw everything at you. You might lose a guy in that wild card round that you might need in that divisional round or vice versa. So it gives you the ability to stay out of harm's way, and it lessens the playoffs for you to, instead of 3 games, which is the wild card divisional round, NFC Championship, getting to the Super Bowl, that is, it cuts it by 2, not including the Super Bowl. You get me?
Yeah, I definitely understand because that was going to be my last thing I want to ask you about some of these injuries that we have in our defensive backfield. Like, so let's just say Seattle can't get it done. So we know we got to play next week. What are we looking like back there? Like, as far as like who will we expect back? Like, is Von Bell going to be ready? Is Marcus Williams like basically out? So I know if we get a bye, we'll get a better chance of getting those guys back. I was wondering if you had any insight on some of those injuries.
Well, right now, as it stands, the only one look close to coming back is Von Bell. That's the only dude that look even close to coming back. Now, of course, the injury report did list them, have several of those players listed as out. We thought Von Bell was getting close to coming back, and he was out. So he's still dealing with that issue, that knee issue. So, I mean, Von is the closest one to coming back. But like you did, talking about dealing with the ankle injury that Eli Apple occurred, who knows that groin gonna need some time from Marcus Williams to heal. But my thing is, if we can get back at least one of those safeties, preferably Von Bell, with his experience, and put him back there with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, allows us to have more of the cornerback depth that we need. So, I mean, we should be fine. But the bye means so much. That's why you should have took care of business when you had an opportunity to take care of business. A lot of people didn't realize that when we lost to the Niners, we lost to the Packers as well, and you dropped all the way down. So it's a bitter pill to swallow, because eventually, if somebody else don't take, you need people to take care of business for you, so you don't go to the frozen tundra up there, because it's freaking cold up there. You know, you talking about stuff in the 30s and stuff. You with 5 and 7, 8, 10 inches of snow and 30 degrees. It was something 20 degrees and all this kind of nonsense, man. But you got to put your gear on.
Your snot knocked out of your nose and it freeze up as soon as it come out of there.
It's cold. It's cold.
That's cold, man.
It's cold. You're gonna have to, but regardless. You know, like some people believe that you got to go. I know you probably heard that before if you listen to hip hop or rap. You heard verses there are people, biblical verses of people mindsets that believe on this planet you got to go through hell to get to heaven. You ever heard that before?
Yeah, the trials and tribulations, man.
There you go. So if that's the case, you got to go through trials and tribulations or hell to get to heaven. Then understand that you might have to go to the frozen hells of Green Bay to make it to the heavens of the Miami area, so to speak, from a football perspective. But this is what we are. If you're a champion team, it matters not where you play, because you have all the tools to beat these teams anyway. The only thing you need to do is stay disciplined. Keep the turnovers down like the Saints have, and force turnovers from other teams, and get out ahead. Execute.
They broke a record this year, right?
Yes.
And the turnover, that is big.
Did that now? A lot of people, that really surprised me, because I was paying attention to a lot of their records. It's kind of tough, but that one got past me. The fact that the Saints had the lowest. Now watch they go right over the top. That's not a big thing. Keeping turnovers down and not turning the ball over is a crucial measure to winning games in a league. The time of possession, the low penalties, 0 turnovers. And then, the sacks, the Saints getting sacks, they're getting turnovers. That was the least penalized game that I've seen in a while. 3 penalties for 44 yards. The time of possession battle where they beat them by 11 minutes. And I've been yelling about TOP. People been talking about 30 points a game. Like, listen, fam, 30 points a game don't mean nothing if the other team beat you by 5 or 4, like 46 points.
Man. Time of possession is bigger, man.
It's big,
because
man.
What you do is if you're scoring 40 points too quick, a lot of times your defense on the field too long.
Right.
And then you end up making those mistakes. And, I felt like that was a big crux in the San Fran game. Now, you go up 2 touchdowns. I don't want to say you're salting the game away. You're still being aggressive, but you do need to start trying to keep their offense off the field, because the offense has to score the points.
Correct.
So if they're not on the field, they can't score points, right?
Yes.
So it's like, so that's what happens. Like, that's why time of possession is so big.
Right.
Everybody wants all the points, but I tell you what, if you find a way to score about 24 points and keep the ball the whole game, a lot of times you're gonna win more often than not.
True that. I mean, that's veritas, bro. You speaking absolute 100% facts. I agree with you 150%, and that's the reality at the end of the day. We can score like what happened today against the Carolina Panthers when the Saints went up big by halftime, and came back out, and noticed they implemented the running game to control the clock, and then they beat the Carolina Panthers. Basically, using the clock to one-dimensionalize the team. They went up, they executed when they were supposed to, and then basically utilizing the clock, which is the greatest weapon you have. Some people say it's the offense, some people say it's defense. No, it's the control of the clock. Remember, he who controls the clock controls the flow of the game. Bottom line. And the Saints were able to do that today, and they took possessions away from Carolina and basically made them become pass happy and throw the ball more than what they wanted to do. So this is something. Right. This is something that we need to understand as the brilliant black and gold geniuses that we are here in the Great Saints think tank.
Right. I mean, you said it, man. You said it. Oh, I was glad to see Pete back too, man. Like people don't put no respect on that.
How about that? Man. How about that?
You saw that? You saw that hole where Tavera got in the end zone that first time?
You could have drove a truck through it. You could have drove a truck through it. He had two. If you took the angle, the 360 angle, he had two routes he could have took. He could have went out or in. That's how it was. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And that's what's said about Luke Kuechly's been good for years, but Luke Kuechly isn't snot unless you have a defensive line up front to keep linemen off of him. If you have big linemen up front that they have for years, and that's what they screwed up when they let some of them big defensive linemen get on Ray, because it exposed Luke Kuechly. It exposed it because a middle linebacker has to have solid play from his defensive line. So to keep those big offensive linemen off him that's looking to block him out of a place so he can roam around and do what he got to do. But still in all, I just love the fact that Andrews P came out there. He was hungry. He mauled him, and Larry Warford appeared out there. Both those guys were happy. And they both ready. Yes, and they were ready. And they were once again a complete 5-man unit, the best in the league. We got them back just in time for the playoffs. The Saints on a 3-game winning streak, and once again they finished with a 40-burger and a 13-3 record heading to the playoffs. And the momentum is most certainly on their side. So it's just it was beautiful. I loved it. I gave everybody, I did my grades early. I gave everybody an A, offense, defense, special team, and coaching. Everybody got an A. This was a really good, solid win for the team.
Yeah, there was nothing to, you got guys out there catching one-hand touchdowns and stuff like that.
How about that?
You can't complain about nothing.
You can't say not one worried about it. It was what it was supposed to be. This is who we know the Saints to be. And this is what we've been talking about. This is the team that's a Super Bowl team that we've been talking about for some times, and they were on full display for all to see. They'll disrespect the Saints because they beat the Carolina Panthers, but just understand, you don't get any respect or any love anyway. Like Drew, like some of the family members was talking about, Drew wasn't voted in the 100 greatest 100 players in the league.
Oh,
what do you that is absolutely a total disrespect, because how could you not include him? He owns all of the guys' records who you putting ahead of him. But once again, that goes to show you that I would stick a big middle finger up to any of these people, because none of their craptastic, sorry ass picking of teams don't have nothing to do with the Saints. At the end of the day, all we want is the Super Bowl trophy. Bottom line.
Yeah,
that's all we care about. Point blank, period, paragraph.
Blank.
That's it.
That's
all we care about.
I don't give a damn how we get it done either, because at this point, like, I think the word was used, mercenary. Like, Sean Payton, they're looking at AB with all this BS. They're trying to do a mercenary. Like, honestly, I don't give a damn if he's there or he's not. I just want my chip. Because I feel like we were robbed, man. Like, and I'm at this point, if we could slap the league in the face, do whatever to slap them in the face, because they continue to mess over us. We had to play against the referees all 16 games this year.
Yes.
It felt like we had to go get them in a bye too.
Yes. You did.
It's ridiculous, man. So it's like, at this point, look, I just want to win.
Right.
Today we got an offensive pass. A defensive pass interference off a challenge. I was like, they're not gonna overturn it.
Gave it to them.
They fooled me. They fooled me. I was like, shit.
But that's because they had to, though. Sub-Zero. That was the rule. What happened was the perfect representation of pass interference. What happened with the cornerback on Mike Thomas? He ran into Mike Thomas. He wasn't looking for the ball. You see, Mike was trying to make the catch. That was the perfect representation of what the rule is. They could not rule against it. They had to give it to him. So see, that's what I was saying about when you a Saint, when you play as the Saints, sooner or later you've been trying to defeat us and you have not had the success to defeat us. Sooner or later, we understand how to play the game when we take the referees out the game. That's what this was. We took them out of the game so they couldn't impact the game, and they won't expose themselves in that way. They're a little bit. They're not. They stupid and dirty, but they crafty at the same time. They won't expose them. You get that crafty, but they won't. They expose themselves to that ridicule, showing you that I see this blatant that they're trying to. But the statistics show you that they aiming at the Saints, because over the last 12 or 13 plus weeks, the Saints have been leading the league in the most penalized team, despite the fact that they're the least turnoving team. How are you the most penalized, but the least team is so disciplined with the ball, you're not turning over? So you mean to tell me you disciplined in not making turnovers, but you're not disciplined in getting penalties? That just don't make any sense to me. But it just goes to show you the mindset of people who don't want the black and gold out. Well, guess what? We're going to get it anyway.
That smells of foul play.
No doubt about it. And to your points about, and just to mention on the Sub-Zero about your AB comment, I seen an article that the Saints were blown away by his workout. And because, listen, and I've said this before about not wanting AB down here early in the year. But if you take the emotion off of it and look at it from a perspective of what the Saints are attempting to do, the Saints would not be able to land a Hall of Fame, because this man's a Hall of Fame. Let's get it. He might be a jackass, and you know what?
Can't argue that.
But you cannot argue that man. That guy is a Hall of Famer, man. That's a Hall of Fame wide receiver, and you don't have those types that just come to you. And look how look how the Saints are getting players who fit needs that they need, that fill weaknesses going into the deep rounds of going into the playoffs. Think about it like this: you were needing help at cornerback. You got Janoris Jenkins was just released because of a tweet. You land him over everybody else, and he a starting cornerback, and he started for you today and had four tackles and a pick today. Janoris Jenkins.
That boy had a pick? I cut it off, man.
He had a pick. He got a pick. He got a pick. And one of the last drives in the game, he picked the ball off from Kyle Allen. He was marching, and he just watched his eyes and picked the some gun off in the end zone. You know, and then just slid down in the end zone and let the Saints take it at the 20 or whatever. But this is the reality. You dealing with a team, man, that is getting help in the areas that they need the most. And I ain't meaning just some guy off the street like Deshaun Shedd. I'm talking about dudes who plan high.
Hall of Fame word.
Come on. Janoris Jenkins, plug and play. If you get Antonio Brown, which the Saints are hell-bent on, they just want to see what's going to happen with his case and how that works out. They're going to sign him if it works out correctly. That's several reports indicating that, because the man's a Hall of Famer. He's a professional. He shows his butt because he feels he has the leverage to do it, because he's that good. He's a cocky, good player. He talks a lot. He's really flamboyant. But the reality at the end of the day is, can he help you win a Super Bowl? Can he put you even further above the rest of the people that you face? I mean, he does help as well. So I understand that why Deshaun looking at him. Go ahead, Sub-Zero. I'm sorry.
I want to. I thought it was interesting that the timing of it, and when I heard that they said that the players get paid out of a playoff pool, like you gotta sign them, right?
Right.
Like even if you gotta force the league to go ahead and finish their investigation, because what they're doing, they're messing over him as well.
Yeah.
By dragging it out as long as
right.
At the end of the day, we don't lose because we're doing him a favor. But by making the league at least make a ruling so he'll know his fate, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So regardless if they let him play in the playoffs or we get the control of him next year, I just feel like, look, forget it, man. Look, the league to mess over us. It's time for us to not stop caring. Like, as long as we have control of the locker room, which I feel like we do, because Sean Payton got rid of the knuckleheads like Junior Gillette and Kenny Vaccaro, those, and Kenny Still, guys that would kind of get into it with people or whatever, so with the rumor had it or whatever. I feel like they don't have them kind of players there. Nah, so it's like, you have one guy, they'll be asking about him, this, that, and the other, but you saw what he did in one game for the Patriots. The man can't be guarded. Right. So you have two guys like that, bro. Look, the football makes too much sense. And then there civil suits on him anyway, so it's like it sounds like a money grab to me. Because if the man is what they claim accusing him to be, he needs to be in jail. But they're civil suits. because they know what they're trying to do. A lot of times guys will just pay them to not get their name put out there in the streets like that.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point. You're absolutely right on a lot of that, man. And that's the reality of what we're dealing with is the fact that they are dragging their feet on this case. They need to rule and get it over with. And it's not criminal because it's these women are not going after them in a criminal manner. They're going at them in a civil manner. They want money, for whatever. Yep. And he's saying that it's not true. And the burden of proof is on them when you're accusing the person that they did this. So, I mean, what it comes down to is, and if I'm not mistaken, I remember reading an article saying that he's countersuing or he's suing one of the two of these women, if not both of them. We have to go and restate sure, but they need to rule on that. And you're right. The money's coming out of a pool that don't impact the Saints. So for the Saints to take a shot on them, they have absolutely nothing to lose or to gain by doing this. Like I said, it don't sully the Saints' name as a team because he's not going to come in there and do anything. This is Mike Thomas's room. He's merely a participant in there, and he'll help this team win as well. And then I have family members say he got severe mental issues. They got a lot of them guys on there that's playing really well got mental issues. Let me tell you what, they got a lot of guys playing with mental issues. They got most of these guys not playing with perfected mind states. Family, come on.
Yeah, they take all these hits too. Like you never know what's going on in the dude's brains, man.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But when you're that good, that's some of these guys behave like that. This is what the Odell Beckhams Juniors look like, or the Antonio Browns look like. These are diva wide receivers. That's what it is. This is a diva. You don't know about a diva. You never had a diva wide receiver on your team. Mike Thomas is not a diva. He's not a diva. A diva wide receiver.
Joe Horn was the closest.
Joe Horn, that's the closest you get to having a diva. Saints never had a diva wide receiver. An Odell Beckham Jr. type where it was flamboyant.
And stuff on the sideline.
Right, doing all this kind of stuff. You never had that super talented diva type guy like that. Now, Mike Thomas has all of those skills. He don't have the burner speed. Most of you have the burner speed and the hands and the smarts to go with it. And then they had that flamboyant mentality. Saints never had that. They never had it. Joe Horn was fast, and they called him Hollywood Horn. But Joe Horn wasn't what I would consider a diva. He wasn't no diva. But this is the reality of what a diva look out. Is some certain players that are really good behave in this manner. And as long as he clears his case, he should get an opportunity to sign with whomever. The Saints are looking at him. They want him on the team because he aced the hell out of the workout because he's a professional. The guy is very good. He's a Hall of Fame wide receiver who hadn't played all this time. He's super healthy. This is what Hall of Fame look like in some aspects.
And then, I know years ago, remember Dante Stallworth? Dante Stallworth killed a man. Got drunk and ran over a guy.
That's true. They took his license away. I remember that. Yeah.
He did 30 days in jail, bro.
Yeah, kill that man.
Come on, man. This man lost his life, and he only did 30 days in jail.
Something like I remember that.
So what I'm saying, I'm not caping for AB. I'm just saying, a lot of times, guys get crucified in a court of public opinion. Right. My thing is, look, when you find that man is guilty, lock him up. If he did that, but it's not even a criminal case.
It's not criminal. It's civil.
That's fishy to me.
Yeah,
it's
money. It's a money case. Yeah, it's money. If he really did all that to them women, they should be going after them criminally. That's not what this is. This is civil suits. They're going for money. They're going for the money, and we see what this is because they do that. And they got Roman gangs of women that do that go and target the athletes. They teach them that. They don't tell you that, but they're Roman gangs of women that go after the athletes, and they got guys that do it to the women too. So that's what kind of world these high multi-million-dollar players have to deal with, where you got women that are hungry going after the men for their money, trying to get pregnant and all this kind of stuff, and then vice versa, they got men going after the women that got the money. So this is a game that been played. So we can't be put on our minds like, oh, well, it just don't exist and it's just what it is. Nah, fam. Nah. They got people out here that don't get up and work a 9 to 5 or do it the honest way. They got scavengers and vultures out here, and it don't matter whether they right. They got leeches. That's what they do. They just, I ain't gonna work. I'm gonna get it easy. You know what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, they got people like that exist. Well, I'm not gonna pretend like they don't. Why would I do that? I know they out there roaming around looking to take advantage of people. We got them in our family. You know that. You got leeches and bums in your family, and it ain't got nothing to do with genre, race, whatever. We got each one of us got bums and degenerates in our family, just like we got great people in our family. It goes with the territory, man. So it's the same thing. Life is life. It don't matter if it's an NFL, the NBA, or anywhere else, or in your families. You know that's truth. Is truth. That's veritas. So if he, like you said, if he was found guilty of something, you know, the Saints will release him. But remember, we got a guy on the team that went to jail. The dude was in jail, man, for touching the girls and making them cry. They took him and like slapped cuffs on him in the trial. He was supposed to settle. Judge said, I ain't know you going to jail. Put cuffs on Granderson and put him in jail. He was playing football 1 week in the NFL. Next minute, he was in jail. Next thing you know, when he come back around, the judge did something she wasn't supposed to do. The next judge looked at it and said, man, this is not right, and freed the man. He playing for the Saints today. So you tell me about a journey. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's like, yeah, I do not like everything that man doing.
I don't like him at all.
At the end of the day, let him play football.
Right.
Like,
that's
you know
what I'm saying. You can't deny the fact he play
let,
football.
Yeah, like when you finally find out if he did something wrong, then hack him up. But other than that, man, let the man play, because I want the league to stop doing people like that. But there's a lot of guys how they do, like you know what I'm saying, people like Michael Irvin and Chris Carter. These guys were drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? But they anoint them. Like you know, like nothing ever happened.
Right. That whole Dallas, most of them Dallas Cowboys people were dealing with cocaine charges and trafficking charges, smuggling charges. They playing football. You had a guy that was a killer in Hernandez playing for the Patriots, and he was killing people and go play football. Kill somebody and go play football.
Hardy, somebody did something crazy,
right. You know, he was Greg Hardy beat his girlfriend up and put guns to her face and said, if you tell anybody, I'll do this to you. Ray Caruth, he murdered his girl because she had a baby. Ray Caruth, look this stuff up. They got some terrible people out there, man. And if they did some stuff like that, take their ass to the jail, put them in the gas chamber, they do something, whatever. But the reality at the end of the day is, if this is not a criminal situation. This is civil, meaning they going after him for money, and he fighting them, saying it's not the truth. So let's just get the ruling over with. We'll find out. Let's see them drag their feet on it. We just have to wait and see how that goes. But the Saints are wanting to sign this man soon as he clear whatever this is. I'm just telling y'all off top. I've read several reports on that.
Go ahead and do it. Just do it.
They could do it too. I'm telling y'all. That's right. Scoop says Ray Lewis was a murderer too. Who beat Ray Lewis? The Ray Lewis that sit up there and talk about religion and all this stuff. Straight killer. Straight killing. He beat his case and came out on top. So let's not play the game, and then you won't really know. Go through the Hall of Fame and find out who them people is up in there. They go way back to the 60s, 50s and all that kind of stuff. Find out who they are. That's what I'm saying. What's that old song that back in the day, my parents used to always play that song by the Whining Brothers. And a lot of people out there know the Whining Brothers. Y'all know this song. It's called Sweep Around Your Own Front Door Before You Try to Sweep Around Mine. Let me tell you something. They got a lot of truth to that song. It says, sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I ain't a singer. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. The video had him sweeping at their brooms. I'm telling y'all, look that up. It's funny. It's a song by the Whining Brothers called "Sweep Around Your Own Front." It's supposed to be a church song, but you can play it and get into it. It always stuck to me, like every time. But it's like the saying that it like true Louisiana will say, yeah, I know that song. I know Paul, though. I know Derek and the family know that. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. I ain't gonna say, I ain't gonna even get into it. Oh man, but yeah, bro. Look at that. School says sing. Oh, but yeah, Sub-Zero, but that's true, bro.
Let somebody else get the chat, man.
Thank you, fam. Appreciate the call, Sub-Zero, man. Yeah. That brought a lot of information, a lot of truth to the family. Enjoyed it, fam. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Who that?
Who that to you, fam? Thank you. That's Sub-Zero, man. I had to let the young brother know about the wineness, man. Revolt says stop and Q style. Dada says sing it. Sing it. Come on, family. Sing with me. Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. If y'all don't know that song, I want y'all to remember that, to put that in YouTube and look it up. Y'all gonna laugh y'all tail off, say Q crazy. No, it was the Williams brothers. It wasn't the Winans, it was the Williams brothers. Derek says, come on, Big Q, Reverend Saint. I think, was it the one? I said was it the Williams brothers or the Winans? I think it was the Williams brothers. Who that, fam? Thank you for joining us on the Sports Coma. Who am I speaking with?
You speaking with Ice Man.
What up, Ice Man? What's good with it, fam?
Oh, man, I had to call and chime in, man. You had me dancing in my living room a couple seconds ago, man.
What's good with it, fam?
Yeah, man. I was just wanted to talk about this game real quick, man. That was a real good performance by the Saints, man.
Yes, sir.
I was not expecting 40 burger. Lord have mercy.
That's what it's supposed to look like the first game, though, bro. To be honest with you, Ice Man, that's what it was supposed to look like the first time we played them.
Yeah, man. It's like bittersweet because, you know what I'm saying, we got the win. I just wish the Lions could have just hung on just a little bit longer to beat them doggone Packers, man.
Yeah. But that's why they stink, bro. That's why the Detroit Lions is so terrible, and they got a coach that looked like Ralph Cramden from the 60s, the 50s. I mean, they are awful, man. They are absolutely awful. They stink. They garbage. And I knew that it'll be a tall order for them to do it. I knew eventually we'd probably end up as the second or third seed. That's pretty much where we are, and that's pretty much where we are. But what you think will happen in the night game between the Niners and the Seahawks?
Man, I'm riding with Russell, man.
Okay.
I got to ride with Russell, man. I do not like, you know what I'm saying, all this 49er hype. For like on the real talk, I really think the 49ers can be had in the playoffs. I really, you know what I'm saying, it's something about that game with us that they just had a lot of tape on the 49ers. So I feel like, you know what I'm saying, them going down, and basically what I'm trying to say is I feel like when we played them, it made them get in their bag, and that kind of exposed them, you know what I'm saying? Well, not exposed them, but it showed all their tricks that they have up their sleeve. You know what I mean? So it's like it gave defenses a lot of film to go off of, because, you know what I'm saying, if we can be honest, they haven't been, you know what I'm saying, really the same since they played us, really.
Truth is true. Truth is true. Facts is facts.
And I want to give a shout out to the defense. I mean, man, Jenkins coming up with an interception. I mean, I was like, I couldn't believe my eyes. I didn't know what I was looking at. I mean, we down 5 starters on the defensive side, and you know, they still finding ways to get it done. I'm starting to feel that same magic that I felt in 2009. And that makes me feel like this team is special, man. I feel like we are primed to go to that bowl, man. And we can't let anything stop us, man. No excuses. We got the talent and the coaches. We need to get to the Super Bowl, man. Because it would be a catastrophe if we didn't. You know what I'm saying? We've been robbed so, like, us as fans. Let's just keep it real, Q. Us as fans, man. We have been craving the Super Bowl ever since we won that first one.
Right. Yeah.
That's all we've been. We don't want to have a conversation about the New Orleans Saints unless it's talking about the Super Bowl. I mean, it's just come to that. That's just what it is. And I'm gonna tell you a couple other things. You better not let Antonio Brown, you know what I'm saying, walk out the door just because, you know what I'm saying, he had, you know what I'm saying, some character issues. Let me list off a couple other guys that had character issues. Does anybody familiar with the name Terrell Owens?
Yes.
Is anybody familiar with the name Michael Irvin? I mean, these are guys at their time that the media was calling cancers and all of that. And Michael Irvin won 3 Super Bowls. Yeah. I don't want to hear that, man.
Yep.
No excuses. You know what I'm saying? I'm you know, I follow a lot of these Saints pages, and I know a lot of people want to have faith in Traquan, but I'm sorry, man. I don't have faith in Ted Ginn Jr., man. Ted Ginn Jr., to steal one of your quotes, he's deteriorating right in front of our eyes, man. I mean, it's like Ted Ginn Jr. is damn near David Blaine or something, man. I mean, just throw a smoke bomb on the ground. Next thing you know, he's retired.
Yeah, he's
terrible. I I don't know what this is about, man. But I can't put faith in Ted Ginn Jr. in the playoffs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We don't like I've been saying. We don't need these other receivers to be superstars. We just need them to be a little bit more consistent. And Q, maybe you could clear this up for me. Krishan Hogan caught his first pass last week.
Mm-hmm.
Not a man on IR.
Right. Hamstring.
How did that happen?
It said it was a hamstring issue. Sound like Austin Carr. I said it on the show. I said he caught one pass. Austin Carr caught one pass, then he went on IR. Krishan Hogan caught one pass. He went right on IR. So he followed him right on IR. But LaJordan Humphries was actually out, was on the sideline waiting to play. So it was interesting. I didn't see him get in. I think I didn't recognize if he got in the game. If he did, he didn't record a catch. But they should have been kind of working these guys in here, over time. During the season to get some of these inexperienced wide receivers and DBs time over the season and bad moments like when you were dominating teams, slip some of them those young guys in there, let them get a little snappage there. But you're right on that though. It's you're speaking about all the players that had issues that were players like Michael Irvin. You had Ricky Jackson was another player. Our great Ricky Jackson, who won a Super Bowl with the Niners and has the sacks records here and all the stuff that he did in New Orleans. Before he was even allowed to get into the Hall of Fame, he was leading the state, and now he leads the team was in sacks, but he's leading the state of Louisiana in child support. And they told him that he would have to pay that before they let him in the Hall of Fame. Look it up. So it's one of them things where about Saints culture and about all the stuff that goes on that you can understand. Look at it from a current perspective. All the stuff, speaking of Hollywood Joe Horn. Joe Horn was caught defrauding the health fund. He could face time for that, and that just happened like last week. So like I said, there's different things you don't have to be a saint to play for the Saints. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be a devil and disrupt things. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to be a saint to play for the Saints, but you damn sure ain't gonna be no devil and disrupt nothing. You will not disrupt what the Saints is going on because the locker room culture is too strong. You won't divide. You can't divide that locker room because they winning. You can divide a losing ass locker room easily because that's when you fragmentate it and it's easy to separate and divide then. But man, you can't divide no winning locker room. And you 13, you winning games without this guy, and you bringing them in for basically would be just a playoff run and a Super Bowl. I mean, that's what it is, and just dissolve it at the end of the year. This is simply what it is, man. It's just upping the stakes to give you that extra weapon, that extra cause going into the Super Bowl. And if the Saints looking at giving them a contract beyond next year, man, listen, this team winning Super Bowls and the type of culture they have, they can control or whip something like that, man. Trust and believe, man. You can't divide this team, man. It's the Saints, man. We winners, and we were put together by hell, man. What happened in Minnesota, what happened last year in the Dome, man, listen, you can't divide this team, man. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Ice, man. I apologize, bro.
No. You good. I like what you were saying there, man. I just wanted to touch on a couple other things real quick. David Blau, or whatever his name is, the quarterback for the Detroit Lions, is pathetic. Let's just address that. Let's get that out the way. We're not gonna act like he's, the next Steve Young. I heard the commentators talking about him. He's the second coming and all of that. I'm not trying to hear all of that. He's pathetic.
Second to coming.
Yeah, they was talking about he's like the next in line and all of that.
What? David Blau?
Yeah, the backup quarterback. Talking about they see a lot of things in him that they saw in a couple of
people stirring the pot, man. The people they talk a lot of mess, man.
Yeah, man, they pathetic. And last thing I want to talk about was real quick. I know you was talking about the disrespect that Drew Brees gets.
Yes.
But I just want your opinion on that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that the national media never brings up, they never bring up other quarterbacks' woes. They only talk about, every time it's Drew Brees, it's always, he's a system quarterback. He's got to play. Play under Peyton Manning. He's a dome quarterback. Weather affects him. He doesn't have the biggest arm. Why is it always an excuse to justify this man's greatness But no one ever brings up the fact that Peyton Manning played in the Dome. No one ever brings up the fact that there was never another franchise quarterback in his division. I mean, the man was playing against the Texans, the Jaguars, and the Titans. Are you serious?
Yep, and
beating
their tail every year.
I mean, and we all know it's no secret. You win your division, you get to the playoffs. It don't matter how you get there. You win your division, you get to the playoffs.
Right.
Who was the other franchise quarterback in this division? But see, the national media won't tell you that. But every time Drew Brees does something special or he puts on a virtuoso, it's always an excuse. And these are supposed to be the football aficionados. It's just embarrassing, man. I want to know what you thought about that.
Sub-Zero, let me tell you. I mean, Ice, man, let me put it to you like this, Ice, man. I think the bottom line is this, fam, is that we've always been disrespected and neglected in the social media perspective up until last year, in the media's perspective up until last year, when they all uniformly agreed that the Saints were the best team in football. And they picked them to go to Super Bowl. Prior to that year, which is just absolutely was an oddity, we've always dealt with that disrespect. You know, we've always been the team that people look past. They tried to take the team away from the Saints many years ago by saying the market couldn't support them, but they would then empower Green Bay. Even though Green Bay in many parts didn't have enough, we were looking to renovate their stadium. Instead of getting the citizens to do it around the area, what they did was they went to the NFL. The NFL said, no, we'll give you the money to revitalize Green Bay. So what we're doing is that's been the mindset overall period on the Saints, that the Saints are a doormat team, that we are not a winning organization. And it's just what it's been. That's always been the mentality from outside the black and gold land. When you deal with other teams, they look at the fact that they'll say, well, the Giants are a better team. They talk about the Giants even though they stink. They'll talk about the Cowboys even though they stink. They'll talk about the Los Angeles club even though they stink. That's the case. Now, we're talking exclusively about Drew Brees. Separate from the Saints, Drew has always had that stamp on his back that he's too small to play the quarterback position, that his arm isn't strong enough to play the QB position, that if he plays, a lot of his balls will get batted down at the line of scrimmage. He started his career in San Diego. That wasn't no dome out there. That was out on the grass, and he had success there. He had success there in Green Bay. In San Diego. The problem is they went with a bigger quarterback. That was their mistake. And Drew was quoted as saying that they're making a mistake. And Phillip Rivers, he probably won't be there next year because they had a sucky season. But the reality is, Drew Brees has always had to dealt with people talking mess about him and disrespect him. He took a lot of that hatred and turned it into something positive to elevate him to where he is now. That's why he has a mentality to own all the records, to get as many Super Bowls as he can. He's proven himself right, but proven the doubters wrong at the same time. That has always been the case. Him being emitted from the 100 people list with all the stuff that he was doing as a quarterback with his physique, the fact that they said he got a noodle arm and all this kind of nonsense, they competitively, ridiculously always just throw the Saints out. And it's not just Drew. You could put other people in the mix. Demario Davis has been busting tail, kicking tail, and Demario Davis right now is still on the outside looking at him many things. So like I said, bro, it's just what it is when you play for the Saints. And they're going to, like you said about Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning played in the Dome, but Peyton's the NFL's favorite son. He go around and make jokes, and Peyton's from down here, but he go around making jokes and doing his little commercials and everything. But Drew Brees, at the same time, 40-something years old, still doing the things that he do, is outer-worldly. And it don't matter about the haters. That's why the haters help create this platform. Because their fact that they would negate our team, not talk about us, they was one responsible for saying, you know what, I'm tired of y'all not giving us no respect, disrespecting us nationally. We're going to create our own platform where we can create and talk, have our own dialogue, and stick a big middle finger up to you. Excuse my French. But that's how we do it, bro. Regardless or not, we take the heat and we turn it into energy that fuel us to prove ourselves right first, and then the doubters wrong second. So it matters not. They don't have to include Drew in that 100 people greatest list, because it matters not. He don't get nothing for that. He don't get nothing from that. All that matters is, at the end of the day, we got the trophy, and then after that, he got all the statistics, all the touchdowns, all the passing yards, all the completion records, all that. So it makes no sense. Sooner or later, they'll run another 100-team bull crappy chump garbage, whatever they do. If they've been doing that, man, they've been disrespecting our players, man. That's nothing new, Ice, man. They're going to continue to do it after you win the Super Bowl. They're going to only say the Saints can only win a Super Bowl if it's in Miami. Watch the foolishness that come out their mouth. How stupid that sound. Oh, the Saints can't. Listen, everybody in the chat, hear me well. When you win the Super Bowl this year, say, damn, Q said it right. Q making calls all year. And Q said, watch this. Q said that when the dumbass doubters come up, they're going to say, the Saints, I ain't worrying about the Saints. The Saints can't win a Super Bowl. Only time the Saints can win a Super Bowl is if it's in Miami. That's what they're going to say. Y'all can't win a Super Bowl. Only time y'all win a Super Bowl if they put it in Miami. That's the dumb crap that you got to deal with. But at the end of the day, it's what it is, bro. You got simpletons out there. I'm just saying, Iceman, I'm saying, they got simpletons out there, bro. They got simpletons out there. And we don't care what the simpletons say, cuz we really don't. We just smoothly ignore them. And then when we get the information, we just bash them in the ground.
Hey, man, I'm agreeing with you, man. Thanks for letting me call in.
No problem, Iceman. Appreciate your call. Good information, fam. You be safe out there. Who that to you?
Who that?
That's my dog, Iceman. Appreciate them. Both Sub-Zero and Iceman, the two climate brothers. Sub-Zero and Iceman. But anyway, fam, thank y'all for contacting the family, man, for calling. But who that to Tyra? I see you out there, Tyra. Who that to you? Who that to my dog, Derek Allison, in the building. True Louisianimal, I see your family. Irvin Alexander, who that to you, fam, as well. L-Dog, who that to you? I'm giving a shout out to all my family members while I was running my mouth, covering the football, all the family members. Annie Clark, who that to you? Annie. Dallas Allen, who that to you? Dallas, as well as the rest of the family members chiming in the building. Let me see if I miss anybody. All right, we got a call here. What up, family? Thank you for calling Sports Coma. I'm speaking with you.
What's going on, Big Q?
What's happening, fam? Who this?
It's Josh, man.
Josh, what up, Josh? How you doing, fam?
Oh, I'm good, man. I called in a couple weeks ago, man, when I was out there working and heading to Mobile.
yeah, I remember you, cuz. I recognize your voice. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man. In the house trying to watch this replay of the game, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty good, bro. You're gonna be happy by it, bro. The fact that they took care of business, man. They 40 burgered that team. They did it all correct.
Yeah, I watched it or whatever. I'm just going back over it or whatever. I didn't get to see the first beginning of it, but I watched the fourth quarter, so I got a little bit of the end where Teddy Bridgewater was playing, so it wasn't too bad.
No, not too bad. Not too bad at all, man. Teddy didn't look like all that in there, but then again, they had the reserves in there as well, so they wasn't blocking as well as our starters was. But it's a mop-up duty, so you can't say too much.
Yeah, I appreciate them winning like they did because, a lot of people been like, man, y'all let the Panthers hang around, y'all this and that. But I was kind of disappointed with with that game at Green Bay. I was like, oh, man. I knew it was going to happen, though. I was like, they're going to let Aaron Rodgers get hot at the end or whatever, and then they're going to wind up, scoring or whatever at the end, watch.
Right. That is what it is, bro. And that's what I'm saying. When we talked about that, bro, it was fantastic, man. I like the clock control, the fact that they kept the referees out. They were penalized 3 calls. I think it was 3 penalties for 44 yards. They were non-existent, basically. No turnovers, domination of the clock, running of the football. Drew Brees 3 touchdowns with 120 something rating there as well.
Yeah.
The destruction is literally collaring of their best back, McCaffrey. We not even making mention of that. The statistics. Let me document that for the family and let them know that the team literally with 3 of its 4 defensive backs missing the game, bro. They still held this team to, they were able to wing it down the field. But Christian McCaffrey is where the subject was. And guess what? McCaffrey carried the ball 9 times for 26 yards and 1 touchdown, basically non-existent. And as far as catching, he had 7 catches for 72 yards. It seemed pretty decent, but that's actually collaring him and keeping him down. Now, that kept him with just about underneath 100 yards on the game. Combined in scrimmage yards. So that's a pretty good effort against McCaffrey, who's one of the best all-purpose backs in the game. That's a good performance with most of your DBs missing.
Right. Yeah, and I think the linebackers or whatever coming back or whatever, they really helped us. And I believe if if we would have had AJ and Kiko in the game against the 49ers, I think we would have done better, because we ain't really have nobody to run to the sidelines to catch their running backs or whatever. So,
right.
But I think, man, if we got to play Green Bay, if we got to go up there, man, besides the weather, I think we can beat them, man. The way they played today, man, that was garbage. I was like, man, come on, bro. This team 13-3, and they playing like they just, barely winning games now,
Right.
I think we'll handle business against them, though.
You're right, bro. They barely beat that team by a last-minute field goal, and a lot of people recognize Green Bay isn't the team that you think that they are. I mean, to be honest with you, Green Bay is not a number 1, number 2 seed. Now, they're going to sit back on their laws and say, well, you got to come up here to the frozen tundra to beat us. And people are more afraid of the snow than they are Green Bay. That's the thing that we break it. And that's crazy, but that's the truth. Think about it. If you go into your mind and think about it, it's like, okay, what's the reason why we don't want the Saints to go to Green Bay? Why? Is it the Packers, the football team? It's the cold. Yep. So once we get past that in our minds, bro, we should be able to take care of business no matter where we end up. But tonight was going to be one of the highest rating games. I seen one of the family members drop that down in the chat, man. So we just gonna have to pay attention, man, and see how it all plays, bro.
Man, like I said, and yeah.
But Josh, what you thinking moving forward, bro? On what it looks like. Let me ask you this about Latavius Murray. 17 carries for 60-something yards tonight. More carries than he ever had in a single game this entire season. What are you thinking that's about? You think that's a prelude to what the Saints going to do in the playoffs dealing with him?
I think so, man. I mean, I think Sean Payton been hiding his hand the whole year. Like, I think most of it is just when he seen Latavius Murray can actually run the ball and got more comfortable with him, I think he just like, okay, we just going to hold you back or whatever until the playoffs or whatever. That's how I feel about it. I mean, I understand, like, he been doing good or whatever, and he'll pull him out. I'll be like, man, why you not running the ball, bro? Like, even with the 49ers game, I had text my partner, I was like, we scored too fast, bro. We scored too fast, and sure enough, they came back and scored because our defense wasn't even holding them guys. So I was like, man, this about to be one of the Minnesota Miracle type games right here. Last minute score or whatever, or a field goal. I said, man, it's crazy. And he was like, yeah, game over, bro. And I was like, yeah, I done seen this happen too many times, Like, we scored too early, leaving that team too much time on the clock or whatever, when they should have been running the ball.
Right.
But, I mean, I think Sean Payton know how to use him. He just ain't been using him the way he should have or whatever because he's trying to hold him out. But we'll definitely find out what he's been doing, when we go into the playoffs.
It could be, bro. The secret weapon in the playoffs could be Latavius Murray. We've been saying that entire season long. He's been saving him for a reason. He brought him here paying him $16 million over 4 seasons for a reason. But like, why aren't you using him? Why aren't you using him? And he could be like, well, he tuned him. 17 carries in a meaningless game against you didn't really need that many carries. You could have went and did what you usually would do with him and still beat him like that. But that many carries is almost like, what is that about? And I'm critical of thinking. So I'll be like, that could be something. Because like I said, family members came on here about a month or so ago and they was dropping some insight, and saying some stuff about inside play. Remember that, bro? You remember that? Remember that show?
Yeah, I heard it when he was talking about it. I didn't get to watch it live or whatever, but I had went back. I always go back and watch your shows or whatever, and I remember him saying it about, it can be what he had heard, that they was trying to hold him out to the playoffs or whatever. So, yeah, most definitely, man. We'll definitely find out what they do, depending on what the 49ers and the Seahawks do or whatever. We'll find out if we got this bye week or if we going to have to play wild card weekend.
Right.
So we'll definitely find out what he been holding back on us. Because, I mean, man, I was just looking at even with the AB signing, like if they sign AB or whatever, who they gonna hold? That's what I want to know. You can't double Thomas. You can't double Cook. You can't double Kamara. Like, it's just going to be like a toss-up. Like, Drew just going to sit back there and be like, all right, just get open.
Yeah, right. Bro, that's like, I mean, it's like, and AB has that speed. He has that speed, that deceptive speed, and he has the hand-eye coordination which is out of worldly. That's the thing. He's not a big wide receiver. You look at him, and he's in his 30s. But he's super productive because of the hand-eye coordination, that understanding of the game. And you talking about adding a player of that magnitude on the opposite side of what you already assembled, and you talking about basically getting them for next to nothing. This is almost similar like the Janoris Jenkins move when we cleaned him up off of the waiver wire and picked this man up and installed him. Now you got a guy starting. He started the game for Carolina, had an interception and 4 tackles. You know, so this is the Saints are building a team with credible, dominating play. Janoris Jenkins is a top 10 cornerback in this NFL. He's a top 10 cornerback. Some would say top 15, but he's in there.
And they picked him at the right time because who would have known Eli Apple would have got hurt.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, he had started playing bad after he had got injured, that hyperextension or whatever in the game with the Bears. I think when he slipped or something. He started playing bad after that, but you know what I'm saying? Who would have known that they was going to get a player, like you said, at least the top 15 cornerbacks or whatever, that can come in and help you, get on this Super Bowl run and win.
For real.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful, man, that they picking players that we actually can use, nobody that scrubs.
Right. Right.
Because that's really what you get, back after the trade deadline or whatever. Once you get past the trade deadline, it's hard to find good players, quality players or whatever.
Right.
Unless they like AB or somebody that's, a reason why they got the lead or something.
Man, Josh, man, that's 100% truth you saying right there, because that's astute and ingenious level thinking. We talking about after the trade deadline, the Saints still named Janoris Jenkins. And Antonio Brown is the next dude. The Saints already put several reports, and I know certainly they notified AB and said, we want to sign you. We just want to see how this plays out. So once we get a word on that, Antonio Brown going to come and help the Saints get a Super Bowl ring. Bottom line.
Yeah,
and if you don't like that, then talk about him after the ring is over. Then we talk about him after the Super Bowl. Then we'll talk about that after that.
Right, and I just seen something he had posted today talking about who that. So he want to play.
How about that?
He want to play for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he want to come to New Orleans or whatever. It's just like you said when I watched your shows a couple of days ago when you said about the commission list or whatever. If they put him on that, they're going to have to pay him. So they're going to want to try to get him off of there. So they're going to have to make a decision.
Right.
So if the Saints sign him, they're going to force them to make a decision or whatever, whether it's good or bad. They're going to have to do something. So. But I mean, Goodell, man, I'll just be like, man, that dude, he don't like us. He probably gonna be like, yeah, he got to be suspended for, these amount of games and stuff. So, but we'll see though.
Right. I mean, you're right, bro. We gonna see indeed, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how it all hash out, man. Because a lot of people, don't like him. But at the end of the day, remember, he just here to help you assist getting the ring. We'll see how it play, man. We don't know how this gonna play, so you don't know how to play. They could keep him on the exempt lists through the playoffs. It doesn't matter us. We're gonna still take care of business regardless of not.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been winning without him, but he'll be a contributor, helper if he come in. After during the playoffs or whatever, they'll definitely help us or whatever. But I mean, we can win without him though.
No doubt.
But if he on the team, hey, more for the taking.
That's right. That's like, man, that's great. Because that adds a super, man, you getting a star level talent, Janoris Jenkins off the waiver wire, and then they just hand you Antonio Brown for next to nothing. What you gonna do? Say no because I don't like this. No, the locker room can absorb Antonio Brown. You never know. He might have never played for a locker room or a team like the Saints that have that. They could change you. They could change you. I'm telling you, we could change. We change players. We not forgot that, family. Have we not forgot the fact that our locker room and the mentality of this team, is something out of worldly. He ain't played for nobody. He was up there playing for Roethlisberger, and I know what kind of, like Paul. We was talking about Roethlisberger. A-hole. You know what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm saying. He has problems, issues. He ain't have nobody when he went out there to Oakland. Ain't nobody out there he respect. When he went to New England, he had cheating Kraft up there and chasing Tom Brady. But the Saints is a different culture. I'm telling y'all that. Ask Malcolm Brown, ask Latavius Murray, ask Teddy Bridgewater. And I go on and on and on about these guys that opportunities to go elsewhere and get more money, but they stayed home with the Saints. Why? Because they're in love with the city. They're in love with the region. They're in love with the team. Playing for the Saints is like not playing for anybody else in the world. And that's what I'm talking about. So Antonio Brown could change, bro, just like anybody else. He hadn't been exposed to a team like the Saints, man. So that's a great point, Josh.
Hey, like you said, man, it's a culture, man. It's like a family. It's not just football.
Right.
You know, we not just out here signing players or whatever, and then just hopefully they'll help us out, and then we kick them to the curb. Like, we have done that, but I mean, now I think we've built, like, you know, a culture or whatever where family, where people actually want to come, you know, actually want to be a part of our organization to win. You know, so, I mean, hey, they know how it is, man. That's why they trying to get down there and come play for us.
Right. That's Malcolm Brown, Latavius Murray, all of them, bro, that came to this team. Easton, ask them why y'all come down here. Ask Malcolm Brown. I played at Malcolm Brown. We say, well, what's your decision to come? He was playing for the New England Patriots, got 2 championships with them. Yeah, he got 2, right, up there with him, left and said, well, I want to play for the Saints because it looked like they was having fun. You mean to tell me you win the Super Bowls up there in New England, you ain't having fun? Exactly. That was an eye-opener. See, I look at stuff like that when people say that. So that's what I'm saying. The Saints organization is unlike anybody else. And this might be a moot point because we might not end up with them. We'll see how it goes. All predicated on what Goodell going to do in the end times. So we'll just have to see.
True. Yep. But yeah, man, I just wanted to call in, man. Like I said, I'm right here in Hammond, Louisiana, man. Like I said, I always listen or whatever. I got a couple shows that I listen to on YouTube or whatever, you know, dealing with the Saints. But, man, you know, I appreciate you, man, and all that you do.
Appreciate you, Josh.
Man, y'all take it easy, man. Have a good night. And who that?
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you, brother. Who that to you, too, fam. Be safe out there.
All right, later.
That's Josh, man. Great call by Josh. Appreciate you, homie. Big ups to the family members in the building. Troc 832, my dog, young boy detailing in the building. Good to see you there, family, as well. Good to see my boy. Who else we got here in the building? Boss Hog, who that to you? Boss Hog, I see you. Steve Wynn, if I ain't give you a shout out, fam, I think I see you there. Tyvon Smith, if I ain't give you a shout out, Tyvon, who that to you? I see your family. T Dirty, what up, T Dirty? My dog T Dirty in the building. Once again, DLP 2600, I see your family. Stephon Wells, I see you, Stephon, bro. Who that to your family? And my dog Derek Allison, who that to you, Derek? James Van Court, good to see your fam as well in the building. So a lot of the beautiful black and gold family members chiming in after a terrific win over the team. Live lines open, family. 504-475-4482. Please hit the like button. Subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, and hit the notification bell as well. Just in case, I always do, episodes you never know. T Dirty says, let me see what my dog T Dirty says. He says 100-year anniversary of football, and Green Bay, the oldest team, they're really trying to push them boys to the top of the anniversary, especially if it means screwing us over. The rabbit hole gets deep, Q. A good comment there, T Dirty. I wasn't even thinking about that. They are one of the oldest teams, them in Chicago, but Chicago ain't relevant, but Green Bay is. And it would be something they would try to push, like the year when we had the terrorist attacks. The New England Patriots mysteriously won the Super Bowl that year. Remember that? 9/11? The Patriots won that year. What was the theme? Being patriotic. So I understand that they do play these little games as well, man. And we just have to be mindful of that, to understand we don't put our get up as players and for our team and spend all of our time rooting for a team who somebody else going to script to do something that we don't want them to do, except for when. If you perform well, you're supposed to get to the top of the heap. Bottom line, who that to you? Randy McGovern, I see you. He said Seahawks 27, Winers 24. Good to see you there, fam. But that's true. If that's the case, you think you spend every Sunday of from August, September, October, November, December, January, and even February making it deep for some other SOB to control the narrative, to put your team somewhere, to put another team up there because it fits a theme that they find fitting? No, sir. You won't play with us like that. We're not playing that with you, man. And I know about boxing. I follow boxing. You know, as a child, you know, we boxed. But in boxing, it's incredibly corrupt. You'll have some of the dirtiest stuff you can ever possibly imagine happens. Nothing, no other sport is more corrupt and dirty and trifling as boxing. I'm just going to be honest with you. I love the fight game, but it's the politics around the fight game that make it really terrible. Really terrible. You know, like case in point, people might not know who some of these fighters, but Deontay Wilder is the heavyweight champion of the U.S. He's a 6'7" guy. He's 40, has 40 fights, 41 fights with 40 knockouts. You can't get no better than that. Who that to you, G. I see you. Thomas Levi, I see you there, my friend. Good to see you. And that's some of the things we talk about. Deontay Wilder, the heavyweight champion in the U.S. Yeah, he has a belt. That's right, the WBC. He's fighting Tyson Fury. This guy from across the sea, overseas. One of the biggest celebrities, heavyweights, a really good fighter. Fury had a fight with an unknown guy. His last fight, the guy cut his eye, had him bleeding all over the place. The ring doctor looked at the eye and said he was good to fight. Now, any doctor with any sense would have known to stop that fight, but they couldn't stop that fight, and he couldn't lose to this guy that he picked, who was like the 25th, or I don't even think the guy was the 25th fighter in the league. This guy was beyond the 25th ranking. He picked these cab drivers, I call them. You know, a cab driver, somebody you want to fight tonight? Make $50? Yeah. You get a cab driver. He gets up there, fight. The guy busts his eye, bleeding like a stuck pig. And instead of the doctor stopping it, they put smearing Vaseline all over it to try to stop the cut. And they were supposed to stop the fight. They didn't, because if he would have lost to that guy, and he would have lost the fight on a technicality like that, then he wouldn't have been able to have the rematch against Deontay Wilder. So see how the garbageness applies. And I calls that out too. I calls it out there too when the other supposed experts that follow boxing wouldn't have said that. I use that analogy just to show you that they do not control the narrative you do. You let them control it when you don't open up your mouth. That's the bottom line. So we voice that all the time here. And we telling you to your face that you won't control the narrative. You gonna let these teams play football fair, or we gonna have problems here. Don't run up against the black and gold nation, I'm telling you. Don't run up against us. You ain't gonna like how that feel. Don't run up against us. But who that anyway, family? I like to say what's up to all the family members in the building. And let's see who else we got here. Thomas says, Big Q, they fired Freddie Kitchens from Cleveland. They had to get rid of him, man. But listen, see, Cleveland, I'm gonna just say a little something like this and then get back to my Saint talk. Because listen, I don't care about Cleveland. Cleveland was overhyped, talking about they was gonna win the Super Bowl and all this kind of stuff. You got this young quarterback out there. He too confident. He living off his wins from his college career. You can't do that in the pros, man. Then he got commercials and him in the stadium and all that, and the team losing to teams that they're supposed to beat. You know, that's what happened when you hoist people up they don't belong up there. The Cleveland Browns just a couple seasons ago was barely scraping together 2 wins, and all of a sudden you put them in the Super Bowl the next year because they got a few players. Don't work like that, plan. Don't work like that. So the Browns stink. They suck. They've been stinking and sucking for a long time. They fired Freddie Kitchens after the man gave him a contract, and now they're getting spoiled. Now they want to win. They should be happy because they didn't win that many games in over 5 years. The last few years they've been winning 2 or 3 games. They won one of them seasons. They damn near went winless, and the guy gets them 7 wins, and that's good enough that should be enough to get you a contract extension in Cleveland. But I'll leave it as that. Freddie Kitchens, you know what they say? If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchens. So he couldn't take the heat, so Cleveland got him out the kitchens. I hear you, fam. It's just one of the same, bro. Freddie Hot Plate. Good with T Dirty. Let's see. J Dents Thomas. Let's see what's up, bro. Let's see the rest of the family members. T Dirty says, Q, if they screwed us over this year, you're going to see me on the news, buck naked, hollering who that. Nah, we just got to keep them freaking referees out of our business by playing mistake-free football. Who that to you, Jesse Jackson? I see your family. Good to see you. Live lines open, family, 504-475-4482. I'm going to read off the track. Who that to you? Who that so breezy? I see your family. Good to see you in the chat as well. As the rest of the family members chiming in the building. James Van Corf says, I really think Sean Payton's been hiding his hand, showing a little of our capabilities here and there through the season. We'll get our chemistry together. Notice how these last couple games is 30-30. 40-something points. Very true, James. Getting close to that playoff, you're starting to see that happen more and more and more and more. That's true. Like we said, we had the show, and I remember people reading it. Like we had family members said they holding Murray until to the playoffs. Well, 17 carries in the last game of the season would kind of give you an indication that that might be the case. Because why would you give him that many carries in a meaningless game, unless you planning on getting him ready for the playoffs? So it's interesting to say the least. Tyvon Smith says, I love the depth of our linebackers we got. It's just incredible because you have Demario Davis, who played really well today. You had Kiko Alonso, who played well. AJ Klein, second on the team in tackles, pick 6, almost had another pick. Big ups to AJ Klein, man. You know, I always say AJ is one of my favorite Saints players among several other players. AJ follows the Sports Coma, but it's a terrific thing. Alex Anzalone, big ups to him as well. Garrett Griffin, a few other guys as well, Demario Davis. I just love the fact that the linebacker core, then you got Craig Robertson, who's not the fastest guy on the field, but he got one of the biggest hearts. He plays well. So and then you talk about guys like Manti Te'o. They are solid, man. He's a solid veteran defensive team. And they might lack in terms of the speed and that, but they don't lack that heart, man. AJ Klein might not be the fastest guy on the field, but AJ Klein was tearing it up today, man. Big ups to AJ Klein. Got to give him some respect on his play tonight. He looked really good today. Pick 6 and everything. AJ Klein, and that's been the case over the last several games. If you ain't been paying attention, AJ Klein has really been accelerating his game. Remember, these guys, Kiko Alonso, AJ Klein, these guys were coming off of injuries where they had opportunities to rest. And now they're coming in hungry. Same with Drew. Same with Elvin. All these guys, the only guy that should be tired is Mike Thomas. And you can say it for the old man, Ted Ginn Jr., because he played every game this season. Even though he didn't do nothing with it, he's basically on vacation running around out there anyway. But to give him some credit, one of those throws Drew threw could have hit Ted Ginn Jr., and he woefully underthrew him. That was one of those plays when you see Drew look like he just didn't put enough sauce on that. But you can attribute that to the fact that the ball was slippery and it got away from him. So it was raining out there, to be honest with you. Boss Hog says he's saving Murray. Charles says Winers won't get another win on us year. Fact. Dada says, I believe neither Taysom or Bridgewater. I believe the future QB isn't on our roster. I agree with that, Dada. Yes, sir, Scoob. Maybe Demario too. Like I said, all of them played really well. I'm just highlighting AJ Klein because he was second on the team in tackles. He played really well. He had that pick 6. Demario Davis, I always shout out Demario because Demario is always playing hot and heavy out there. Yeah. Kevin says, let's see. And about the future QB comment made by Dada, I agree with you, Dada. I don't think the future QB is in the building either. You know, it'll come down to this offseason, see if the Saints have 3 free agent quarterbacks. Of course, Drew gets signed, Taysom gets signed, but do you sign all 3? That's highly unlikely. Unless Teddy says, I want to be a Saint, I'll take what you give me. That's the only way you make it back. I don't see all 3. 2 of the 3, yes, but not all 3. Especially when you're looking at the level, and there's going to be a deep QB draft, but that don't necessarily mean only 2 of these quarterbacks, maybe 3 of them can come in and be starters for you. You know, and 2 of the Burrow can help out. He's going to start off instantaneously. Cincinnati's going to trade Dalton. They'll move him and turn the keys to the bus over to Burrow. Tua is not going to play in his first year, maybe in his second year, so he's not going to play. Herbert is a long shot. He's dealt with inaccuracy. He's a big quarterback, the big typical quarterback that you want with a strong arm. But, you know, he has questions. Then there are other guys like Fromm, and then the other guy from, Washington, I think it is. And there's quite a few other guys. There's Jalen Hurts in there. Hopefully Jalen Hurts. I really do think my thing is that Hurts falls to where the Saints are and we get him. That's my thing. I would love the Saints to get Jalen Hurts because that's basically what Taysom Hill is. You look at it. Jared Hurts is a more accurate version of what Taysom Hill is. I'm just seriously. I mean, Sean Payton would love a weapon like Jalen Hurts. If you're thinking that he ain't looking at him, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy to think that Jalen Hurts would not be on Sean Payton's radar when he got a quarterback, similar quarterback, doing things for him named Taysom Hill. Just saying. We're going to see how it plays out, family. James says, I think Sean Payton's been hot. Okay, I read that one. Charles said, I think the chip's still on the table for Taysom playing QB for us. Who that so breezy said, let's go Seahawks. Tyvon Smith says, I love the depth of the linebackers. I said that. Young boy detailing says, adding AB is like putting rims on a Rolls Royce. LOL. That's right, family. That's right. Ain't no doubt about it. That's a really good analogy too. Yeah, and I expected that much out of a detailer. Rims on a Rolls Royce, baby, a real clean one. Let's see. Who that to you, Stephon? True Louisiana. Dada says AB and Thomas will stay open. Him and Mike T are two of the best route runners in the league heading to the Hall of Fame. Even though people don't like AB, you got to go into your imagination for a second and say, man, golly, how would that look? They have Antonio Brown and Mike Thomas on the same field with Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara and Jared Cook. You could not stop that. You could not stop that. And don't underestimate the power of the Saints locker room. Because we ultimately thinking like he would destroy our locker room when it could be us that destroy him in terms of his selfishness, his bad mindset and play towards teams or whatnot. There are life-changing moments that come along. And you have a collage of different people there on that team that can mutate him from what he is. Because you ain't never met nothing like the Saints. I'm telling you. T Dirty says AB is like a bad shopping cart. Will just goes in circles when he's just trying to make groceries and leave. Let's go. Seahawks says Stephon. Troc 832 says LOL. AB just wants bad in and off the bench. If you toss his phone, maybe he's a salvageable player. Irvin says safe family. Dallas out of the playoffs, but expect every show tomorrow to talk about it all day. But we have the most wins over the last 3 seasons. Absolutely no doubt about it. You can see the Skeletor known as Skip Bayless, the guy with the meat falling off his bones, who's so weak he barely pounding the table. You know, I mean, Skeletor gonna talk about him 8 ways from Tuesday. It's his show, and he that's what he gonna do. He gonna sit up there and run his mouth about them, and that's what the national media gonna do. And they welcome to do whatever the hell they want. We gonna do what we want. We gonna talk about the Saints and how we about to rout them. Dallas been stinking, man. They had an opportunity to win that game. They was up in that game. You know, and the Eagles took care of business and knocked them out of here. So Eagles win. They beat the Giants 34-17. The Cowboys stumped the Redskins 47-16. Don't do them no good because they lost last week. And the Giants and the Eagles make the playoffs. The Cowboys do not. They finish as an 8-8 team, which is pretty much what they are, a mediocre team. You know, let's keep it going here, family. All right, we got a call here. What's up, fam? How you doing? Thank you for calling the Sports Coma.
What's going on, Q? This Paul.
What
and
up,
in
Paul?
the words of Jimmy Johnson, how about them who that? How about it? How about it? How about it?
That's a big one, Paul. Big win, isn't it? I love it. It's a far inferior team, but I love that's the response you put down on a team that don't belong on the same field with you.
But, man, don't it feel good, like from the root to the fruit, man? It just feels so good. Yeah, ooh, the Saints fans going to have it so good this week, man. We ain't going to know what to do with ourselves.
Yeah, we wait now. We got to wait to see where we land in terms of seeding. Only one game left to be played in the rest of the regular season. Everybody's games are final. And I think the last game is that comes on should be coming on in, in a few minutes, matter of fact. Of the 49ers and Seahawks game.
That's the big heavyweight boxing championship fight right there, Q.
That's it.
It's just like, you know, back in the day you have 2 fighters, and both of them had a belt, but they had something called a title unification bout.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, one man gonna get all the belts. I used to love them kind of boxing.
Yeah, that's what that's all, and that's what the fight. That's what it's about. The best fighting the best, and that's what it's all about. If you're the baddest man on the planet and I'm the baddest man on the planet, let's have it out, see what we got here. And that's what it's about. And that's how it's supposed to be. But what's your thought process on it, Paul? What you think? Where do you think we're going to fall by the end of the day?
Well, I've heard Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara and even Cameron Jordan have said it, off and on through the whole season. We haven't played our best game yet. We haven't played a complete game. Well, Q, I dare say, and to the family, today was that complete game.
Yeah, they look terrific on all phases, even the coaching. I gave them A's. My grades, I graded early, and I gave the offense, defense, and special teams and coaching A's. All of them got A's, and I've been giving them A's all season long. But I gave A's in the finale.
I'm just sitting here looking at it. It says if San Francisco wins, they got Minnesota coming to New Orleans. Okay. And they're saying if Seattle wins, the Saints will get the second seed, and it'll be Seattle against Minnesota. That's very interesting, Q.
Yeah, it depends on where we like you said, my friend. It depends on where the game ends, because it's a pivotal matchup that decides where we go. That plays tonight. That Seattle and 49ers game directly impact with the Saints go where we going, and that's the thing. If the 49ers win, that means the Saints stay at home. They play on the wild card weekend against the Vikings. If the 49ers lose and the Seahawks win, the Saints get the second round declaration, which they'll end up being on a bye. So we get an off week into the divisional round. So it's one of those things where this one directly impacts. So you'll see a lot of the Who Dat Nation watch this game tonight, no doubt about it.
That's true, Q. And that's why, you was upset, and I was, and a lot of the Saints and Who Dat Nation was upset because we lost to San Francisco. It's kind of like your enemy. You don't like him, he don't like you, but you need him to do you a favor now. Ain't that weird?
That's pretty good.
You don't like yourself, but now I need you, man. Come on.
Why should I do you a favor?
Yeah, we got to try to forget all these hard words, all this bad blood. We got to try to, forget all that, because now we need each other. Now that's a weird feeling, Q.
I know. I know. We beat. That's the fault that we need to Seattle. We took care of Seattle early, and we need them to take care of business. But what I got popped up on the screen right here, this is the NFL playoff machine. This is the final. All the games have been final, and it should be popping up any minute now for the family members to see. But this is pretty much what it looks like. Now, as it currently, I have the Seahawks matched here as the winner of this game. This is how the playoff seeds will look for those who are paying attention. This is what it will look. You see Green Bay right now occupying the number 1 seed. This is with Seattle winning. The Saints get the 2nd seed here. Then the wild card round has the 6th seed Vikings traveling to Seattle to play the Seahawks. And then the 49ers are on the road against Philly, at Philly. That's what it looked like in the NFC side of things. Now, if I hit the fact that the 49ers win, if the 49ers win, then this is what it would look like. The 49ers would then occupy the number 1 seed. Green Bay would get the 2nd seed, so they'll be on first round buys. The Saints will be at home in a wild card round against the Vikings. The 6th seed Vikings will come to meet the Saints in the Dome, and Seattle would then travel to Philly for that game. So this is how it would look. One versus the other. The Seahawks obviously is the better scenario. The Seahawks have to win tonight to give the black and gold an opportunity to move ahead. So that's pretty much what it is and how it stands. And just to just to have a graphic for the family members to kind of look at, man, so they can have an idea of what we're dealing with.
It's a lot to part of the Q. I mean, you just give you big feelings all the way around it, because I believe, the history that we have, even with Minnesota, they've beaten us in the Dome in time past in the playoffs. So, it's just one of them things, but to tell you the truth, I'm really hoping somebody knocks San Francisco off before they get to us. I'm really hoping that, What you think, Q?
Well, I mean, this is not the same San Francisco 49ers the Minnesota Vikings of yesteryear. The Vikings club, I think, I have less confidence in Kirk Cousins. He has a reputation of losing the big games. The fact that the Saints could run on this team, they can get pressure on this team, and this is not the same Vikings club that we had these tough matchups against. This Vikings club has deteriorated. They are not the same team they'll be without their star running back, Cooks, who really helps out. They have injuries all over the place, inconsistency. The defense is not as strong as they used to be. So I'm not that concerned with Minnesota. I think if we're going to have some difficulties, it'll be against teams like the 49ers or the Seahawks. That'll be the teams that we have to pay attention to. Not so much as far as Green Bay is concerned, because I think we could take care of Green Bay too. But like I said, the mystique around Green Bay is the fact that you have to go into the cold to play them. It's not about the fact that we even afraid of the Green Bay team, because you're not. It's the cold, going in the cold weather to play them in the dome. But I mean, in the level.
If the mathematics and the scenarios were, fell in place where Green Bay had to come to New Orleans, oh yeah, it'd be different. Yeah, bring them on,
Right.
But the fact that you said you got to go to the tundra, that's the only drawback with that, that cold, man.
Right, that's bitter, nasty cold. But the thing is, when you're dealing with bitter, nasty cold, the best thing you can do is bring your running game and your defense. That's what you do. Bring your running game and your defense and take care of business. Bottom line, no turnovers, forced turnovers. No turnovers, forced turnovers. Bring your running game, play defense. That's how it is on the road when you're dealing with nasty conditions. Jacksonville game, Chicago games, that's how we did it. If you look at those two games, Paul, the Chicago and Jacksonville games, we brought that running game and that defense.
That's true, Q. We had the ball. We had the ball control. I was loving that ball control today.
Right.
I thought Sean Payton, they kind of forgot about that. But they really dominated the game, scored a touchdown on the opening drive. The Saints wasn't doing that, if you look back over the game. Like the Saints, most of the game always get off to that slow start, get 10, 15 points behind, and then trying to rally at the end. You just can't keep doing that and expecting to win consistently,
True that. Absolutely true. Absolutely
but
true.
I enjoy this. This is the first, I know this is against Carolina, but this is a win that just made me just feel full. Like Sean Payton just showed us a blueprint of what he really gonna do playoff time. All this other stuff, like he was just trying to, he wasn't trying to tip his hand. Q, what you think?
I think you're right. I mean, a lot of what we're gonna see coming soon from him is we're gonna see more of the run stuff that we've been seeing, Paul, like we see today, the heavy run aspect of it. I'm expecting to see that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm expecting to see that because when we seen today, what he did toward the end of the game, when he put up he allowed Latavius to run 17 times, it's really interesting. That's truly interesting that he would go to do that. So we'll just have to see, at the end of the day, how it all shapes up. But yeah, he definitely, Paul, I'm with you on that. He definitely has something going on with
I enjoyed it, Q, because I'll really cut you off, but what I saw was they was hitting Carolina with Murray, bam, bam, bam. That's your battering ram.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you get tired of that. Okay, we gonna hit you with Kamar with the speed. Zip, zip. Then we hit you with Taysom Hill with some speed. I love that pass to Hill. Oh man, that was so pretty.
Right.
Oh, you just had it right on the money. And it's gonna be hard to defend against that at the playoffs. I don't care if it's San Francisco, Seattle, or whoever. But then they give us the same challenges too, because they got weapons all around on offense also. So I enjoyed the secondary, man. Jenkins, I tell you what, I wish we could have had those guys the whole year, Q.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Just think, if we'd have played like this the whole year, I dare say the Saints would be undefeated right now, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would definitely, a couple of these games we kind of let get away, but to be honest with you, man, if we would have took care of business against some of these teams, we could definitely been almost undefeated with a lot of this. The Atlanta game was a slippage. We just totally underestimated the team, and that's what we got. But at the end of the day, man, I have to say that I'm proud of the way this team played, man. I'm saying overall, except for the Atlanta matchups, even against the San Francisco 49ers, they kind of went down a little bit. But I'm just saying at the end of the day that the Saints, it really opened the eyes against the 49ers, putting up 46. And ever since that game, Drew Brees has been on fire. And as long as he's on fire, he'll inspire the rest of them to follow suit. And then you'll start seeing some really interesting things happen, like what's been happening going on now, moving ahead. It's Drew Brees has been just been stellar, man. His play, a lot of people looking past that, but I'm telling you, look at Drew's numbers over the last 4 weeks. We documented here the 5 touchdown passes. I know he has 6, but 5 touchdown passes and the 1 rush against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But let's just talk about the passing TDs. 5 touchdowns against the 49ers. That's 5. He had 4 the next game against the Colts. That's 9. He had 3 against the Titans. That's 12. And then he had 3 again today against Carolina. That's 15. 15 touchdowns and 0 interceptions over this month. What you think about that?
You know what, Q? He still can't get no respect. If it was Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, we couldn't turn around for him. But kids called it Drew Brees. Yeah, man, you know, a caller a while ago alluded to that. Even when Drew was in San Diego, man, he couldn't get no respect.
Right.
You know, because if they really thought Drew was going to be a spectacular player, and I don't think nobody could have predicted he'd be as good as he is now, they wouldn't have went and got Rivers, you know. Mm-hmm. So they didn't. San Diego never had Drew Brees in their future. I mean, let's just be honest. Because if they did, they wouldn't have got Rivers, and they wouldn't have made some other moves that they made. You know, so they wasn't planning on him being their quarterback of the future. But I thank God that we was able to see past all that bad press and whatever, even him being hurt, and was able to sign him, man. I'm telling you. You know, it makes a difference, man, when somebody wants you, Q.
It does indeed, bro. They'll find a place to put you at that, Paul, so you can be you can have the opportunity to show what you can do. So you're absolutely right, man. You know, that's what it comes down. If we could find a spot for you and put you somewhere where you could be effective and help us win some ball games and do the right thing, then you know we'll be right on the money. So I'm glad that that the Saints are putting these talented people in positions to be able to make plays to help the team and win these games. 13-3 is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I think I think it's awesome. I think it's terrific. And at the end of the day, we finish the season 13-3. We got to watch what goes on next. So we got the game. It's about to start with the Seahawks and the 49ers is coming on, family. So I'm gonna let some of the family. I know some of the family members want to watch that game. So who that to you? Randy McGovern, I see you, Randy. Who that to Brandon Comier? Good to see you, Brandon. Brandon's in there as well. Desmond Roman, I see your family is in the building as well. I like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for chiming in the day as well. Scoob the DJ, who that Big Q, great game. To say we got 2 Scoobs and we got Scoob. We got Scoob the DJ. Got 2 Scoobs. Blazing says that Jalen Hurts has been mocked to the Saints in round 1 pick by 30 USA. See, I didn't even know that. But see, it's just listen. I'm telling the family this, Paul.
I'm glad he had that bad game against LSU.
I'm telling you something. I'm telling you, family. I'm just gonna put this. I'm just gonna put this out here, brother Paul, to tell the rest of the family members as well. It's something I don't know what it is. It's something I keep getting that's connecting Jalen Hurts to the Saints. I don't know what it is, and I ain't even look at that mock. Blazing says, thank you for throwing that out there, family. Right. But I didn't even look at that mock. But it's something that's connecting. I keep getting Jalen Hurts and New Orleans Saints. I don't know what it is. I'm just throwing it out there. But it's like Q, this, that, the third. Saints, that's Sean Payton quarterback. Why? Because that's Taysom Hill. He's a more accurate version of Taysom Hill. That's what Jalen Hurts is. I'm telling you. And you think it's Sean Payton a pass on him? Think again, man.
Oh no!
Think again. I'm telling you, that dude will be the dude. I keep getting
that. Q, if the Saints get hit with a black and gold uniform, now that's your future. I can see that.
I would be really excited if they landed Jalen Hurts. That would mean we take the winner into the future. Sean Payton's mind would explode with the possibilities. You have a dual threat quarterback who can throw and run it. Man, it'll be absolutely terrific. We'll see how it all fades out. So.
But I'm so glad that Miami passed on Drew Brees. Remember Drew failed the physical when he went to Miami? You know, the Dolphins wanted him real big till he failed the physical. I'm so glad he failed it so he could come to New Orleans. We were really blessed, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, that was after Hurricane Katrina. Nobody really wanted to come down here. There was so much stuff. People thought that the team would have to move somewhere. It was a strife going on with Tom Benson. Remember, prior to that, the Katrina come in the Dome. They had the lease. There was the agreements going on with the Dome. Tom Benson was upset. He was saying he didn't want his team to play in the Dome, that it was an outdated structure. The state didn't want to come up with the money to fix the Superdome was veritably falling apart.
The governor said he didn't need another dome. Just keep what you got, renovated.
That's right. He didn't want that. He wanted the site on the West Bank. He wanted it in near Gretna. They had an old War lumber site that was on the right off the river that they wanted to get to put the outdoor stadium over there. So they wanted the state and the federal government to help build a outdoor structure, and Tom Benson was going to put a percentage of his money toward building an outdoor stadium for the Saints across the river. See, that's a part of having Saints brain.
That's a history I didn't know.
That's a part of having Saints brain there, Paul. You know, all this the Saints history is a part of it. But the Saints almost had left the city prior to Katrina. Katrina really saved the hurricane. Really saved the Saints in the city. After that happened, all the animosity between the city and the team disappeared.
San Antonio was ready.
Right, he was threatening to move the team to San Antonio, which is where he made a lot of his money with his car dealership. Still have some out there, and they were going to play in the Alamo Dome and be known as the San Antonio Saints. And he was basically telling them that, gave him a deadline and everything. What ended up, y'all can research this, look it up for yourself. And ultimately, what ended up happening, Katrina came down, smashed the city of New Orleans, flooded everything, destroyed the dome, poked holes in the roofs of that and the arena. Both the stadiums were damaged back because they had people staying in the arena too. They don't tell you that, but they had a lot of the handicapped people and disabled people. Oh yeah, all that. Oh no, sir, no sir, no sir.
Wow.
All those buildings were affected. Even the Lakefront Arena, the convention center, all those were damaged big time.
Wow.
So when the money came in, and this was a supreme opportunity for the city, the state, and the federal government to work together to renovate the Superdome, and that's when they started all this stuff happening, building the dome and redoing it. Now the next stage of it is still federal, state, and taxpayer money. All of it's taxpayer money. Whether it's federal or state, it's still your money. You can separate and divide and say this, that, and the third, but it's still your money. But all that's going into the renovations. Now the next leg of renovations will have skylights, and they're going to take out portions of the side of so you can put lights all up in there. All of the stairs will be getting rid of. They're going to put elevators and escalators into it. They're going to open up rooms that have cappy area, coffee areas, and all that. They about to do it all big in the city, in the dome. Check it out. Google the Lewis pictures of the Superdome, the architect renderings of what it's supposed to look like. But this addressed the Drew Brees situation. Drew didn't want to come to New Orleans. See, I'm not a revisionist. I'm not a guy that goes back and revisit history with a sense of giving it to the person. No, I'm gonna tell you like it is. Drew didn't want to come here. He went to Miami and was hoping Miami took him, but they was making a choice between him and Culpepper. Both people had surgery done to them. They thought Culpepper would be the better choice over Drew Brees. And who made the decision? Nick Saban, the guy who's the coach of the Alabama Crimson. He was running Miami. He made the decision. Nick Saban was the dude that was running Miami. And when that happened, when they chose Dante Culpepper, then Drew came here. So we would have got the loser of whoever Miami wanted. So that's why I always pluck at Miami. Because we not only did we get Drew from them and we ended up with a Super Bowl in Miami, but we also ended up getting Teddy Bridgewater, who's from there, who chose to not go back there and stay with the Saints. It's already pluck at it, but that's the reality of the history. But after that, Drew Brees realized this is what he was meant to be. So that's the bottom line behind some of that.
It's just like a big giant spider web, Q. Like everything was just so connected to the next thing, you know.
It was.
It's just amazing how all that turned out. You know, it was, and it's so beautiful to see it finally. You know, all over years of the ants and the bags on the heads and all that. Yeah. But the last, 10, 15 years, it's finally feel good and look good to see the black and gold come out on top for a change, you know?
Yes, sir. This like the shirt we got at the pro shop says, this ain't your granddaddy Saints. You know what I mean? And this ain't the Saints ran underneath Bum Phillips. This ain't the Saints that got, a defense with no offense, fumbling and turning the ball over at the worst times of the games, barely making 800.
That old playing not to lose mentality.
There you go.
That.
That's not. Sean Payton took over the team, and we done had these conversations before with the Black and Gold Nation about dealing with everything that went on. We talked about this before. We talked about how the Black and Gold, how Sean Payton came in and had mock funerals to bury the old dead Saints. Remember that? Or the fact that Sean Payton came in And not only had the mock funerals, but he had the voodoo lady several times to come in the Superdome, perform rituals to run the old dead ghosts of the past or whatever was buried under the ground. They say it was an old Indian burial ground.
Bobby
All that.
Hebert was talking about
Oh
that.
yeah,
I
all
remember
that. That's real.
Wow.
You can Google the pictures on it. Had the lady dancing around. You can see the footage, all that. Sean Payton did all that. Why would you do that if you don't think that there's the spiritual ramifications of getting rid of the old dead dying stuff that can come back and trip you up? See, that's why most people commemorate terrible accidents. Like you see you driving on the interstate and you see a cross over there with a teddy bear or something like that along the road. Somebody's family member died right there, and they commemorating that spot right there. They commemorating that spot right there, what happened, and let you know that something happened right there, and they bless that area. That's what I'm saying. There's spiritual aspects involved to what we do. It's just not about football. And if it is just about football, you ain't gonna get very far. You gotta understand this game. If you're gonna be a coach and know something about football, to know people. And people are not just one-dimensional objects walking around. There are many aspects to people. So
that's true. You know what I love about Sean Payton Q is that he brought a witty attitude that lasted. Mora, he brought a witty attitude, but it only lasted so long. Even Jim Haslett, when he first took over, it only lasted so long. But Sean Payton has somehow been able to maintain a consistent winning atmosphere, and that's been a blessing. It really has.
Right. Absolutely.
It really has. So I'm just enjoying this, man. And I just want the same fan and family to enjoy this, and we just got to get ready, for the playoff. But like you said, us not beating the 49ers, we put ourselves in this position. And your grandma used to say, Q, you make your bed hard, you never know, you might have to lie in it.
That is very true. You make that bed, you're going to have to sleep in it. So, but yeah, that's true that, Paul. But I appreciate your information dropping down on the family, letting everybody know about it. Thank you, my
man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Who that now?
Who that to you? Appreciate you too, brother. Peace. That's Paul, man. Paul, the historian, coming in, dropping some knowledge. I'd like to give a special shout out to some of the family members, man. That we dealing with. Just as today, the final game of the season, I just want to give a shout out to all of our special team, not special team, but our fantasy league members. While I get the opportunity to talk about them, to let people know about our fantasy leaguers and everybody that participated in the fantasy league. Of course, by the end of the day, we'll know who we have as the fantasy Super Bowl champion. Currently, we have Eyes Closed, who's winning 210.42 over Slinging Bubbles, who's 196.24. So very close game between Eyes Closed and Anthony's has a perfect season. Played really well. 13-0 Anthony's has. He's in the Fantasy Bowl, and Slinging Bubbles 11-2 is matching up with him, and they are really close. 212 to 196 is it right now, and it's gonna come down to the last game. Remember, the fantasy league, either one of those guys is gonna win a $150 prize. So Slinging Bubbles, or either it'll be Eyes Closed, who will win $150. And remember, the runner up gets $50. So both of the guys will collect a prize. It depends on who would get 150 versus 50. So big ups to Slinging Bubbles. I see you in there. He's really dueling it out, and Eyes Closed, man. Really dueling it out. So just to let the fantasy league people know that once this game go final, we'll be checking out for it. I want y'all guys will contact you. Just be paying attention to the community section, or y'all would just our email is the promedianetwork@gmail.com. It's scrolling on the screen here. You can check it out for yourself. But that is our email. You can hit us up. I'll be monitoring this. Me and several other people will be monitoring this. But this is for all the money. The fantasy Super Bowls tonight for the Sports Coma Fantasy Super Bowl is happening, man. And it's tonight's game will decide the winner. Eyes Closed is up 214 versus Slinging Bubbles 196. So it's going down, man. Very interesting contest between the man, and it's very interesting as well. So big ups to the family members that played the fantasy league this year, man. Can you believe the season is over with in terms of the regular season? Just that fast. And of course, I'm in a Swade's league. I'm in Swade's fantasy league, and my team, the Sports Coma Kings, are winning in his Super Bowl against the Defeaters 214 to 119. So I can't go and play in my own, so I go and whip on somebody else. But anyway, you know, I appreciate all the beautiful family members. It's getting close to the game. I'm going to let everybody, I know a lot of the family members want to go and watch that game because a lot of riding on it with the Saints. So I'm going to kind of cut the show short tonight, just shy of our 3-hour window. But I'd like to thank everybody for chiming in tonight on the Sports Coma. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for all that you do. Who that to all the family members, Tyra, Scoob, Tevon Smith, Demi, Troc 832, Derek, Sub-Zero, let's see who we got. True Louisianimal, Charles Mayfield, DLP 2600, Kevin, big ups to you as well. Dada, as usual, thank you, Dada. Appreciate your family for what you do. Boss Hog, James Van Court. Let's see who else we got. Young Boy Detailing. You know, and all I guess our callers, Sub-Zero, Iceman, Josh, Paul, all you guys, thank you for your great calls as well today. We appreciate you. Irvin Alexander, Timothy Wilkerson, T Dirty 00, my dog T Dirty. Who that to you? Stephon Wells, big ups to you. Revolt Control Radio, my dog Revolting out in ATL, doing it big. Jesse Jackson, who that to you? Robert, good to see you as well. Robert Clark, big ups to you. Thomas Levi, who that to you, fam? G Re 504, big ups to you. And who that to you? A lot of all the great family members chimed in today, man. I'm probably not going to be able to call all you guys out because the chat only goes up so far. But for those, Blazing Cess, Sydney Cox, Scoob the DJ, my dog Scoob, period, Randy McGovern, big ups to you, family. Got love for you too. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all too, man. Thank y'all for the love and respect. JT, good to see you, family. Thank you. He said we won on the road. We still give respect. That's right, JT. Thank you, fam. Jerome, big ups to you. Tramal, Brandon Cormier, big ups to you as well. Ernest Adams Jr., big ups to you, Ernest. Appreciate you coming over, family. Once again, Louis Lombard, good to see you, Louis. Good to see you. I see you, Greg CTC. I see your family. Adrian, big ups to you as well, Adrian, in the building. Let's see who else we got. Troy Thompson. Troy, big ups to you, family, and who that to you, and all the family members in the building. If I missed your name, Desmond, I see you, Desmond. Big ups to that, to you as well. Who else we got there? A lot of the family members I might have missed you on the chat, but we'll probably end up hollering at you. Let me take one more call before I get out of here. What up, family? Thank you for contacting the Sports Coma who I'm speaking with.
Hey, Pepper.
School.
I had to sneak in a last minute joke, bro. You wasn't getting past me, was you? My stars. Tried to slide out early and we want to see the game, but we keep one eye on the game, one eye on the stream. You know what I mean?
Scoob, I just know it was you, cuz.
Ain't too much, baby. Ain't too much, you know. But I had to do it. Had to do it. Must be the shoes. But look.
What's up,
anyway,
Scoob? Go ahead, bro. What bullet points you got, bro? What you got tonight?
Just real quick, because, you know, I ain't trying to hold up the line, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I like to say, first off, who took Paul the historian and traded him in for Uncle Paulie? Yo, he was super duper positive today. I seen him in 2 other chat rooms today. He had nothing bad to say. I said, damn it, that's Uncle Paulie. He switched up now. For me, he's no longer the historian. He is Uncle Paulie. But everybody don't know this. But anyway, right? So I just wanted to hit on something real fast. Yo, I think the key to us winning recently, man, is offensive play calling and execution is picking it up.
Yes, sir.
Like crazy, yo. Like crazy. I mean, Sean Payton, either something happened with that Butcher experience and nothing, but thank God for the Butcher. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Something happened. You know, he must have got inspiration or got mad as hell. Like, the Butcher? I mean, a butcher? You know, worry about your meat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But maybe he had to come to the good Lord moment and start worrying about his own meat. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got a hard on for doing what it takes to make it to the bowl or something. I don't know what happened. The old boy switched it up. I thank God for the Butcher. Don't get it twisted. Sean is putting it together. But then we gotta say something about DA too, because what he got DA's Heine and DA, except for that BS brand of defense in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Bend, don't break, zone all game. But it was in hand. So
I get that. But that's been his mindset all year, so we didn't need him to practice that again in his last game. I wanted to see him put his foot on it. I didn't want C-Mac to get that record. I mean, if Michael Thomas can get the record, great. C-Mac can too, but just not against us. You know what I mean? Right. I didn't like that part. Not at all.
Yeah, he had that far to go to get it, Scoob. He had what, like 60 yards or something like that. He just had less than 100 yards.
Yeah, and then he's a dynamic player. Mm-hmm. Right. So, but I mean, still, DA could have made a defining thing. You know what I mean? He would have just smacked him upside his head a little bit more than, maybe the old Buddy Ryan days. Just smack him and I'll pay your penalty. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it. I'll pay your fine. Let's not even care about him. But then look, your boy Dan Rizzi, he done stepped it up a little bit too.
Yeah, he did.
Even in the face of we're not gonna.
It still don't look like all that school, but yeah, they did step it up. You can see a little improvement.
They're coming to life, and I think more of it's due to the kid, being such a dynamic returner, and having great vision. And probably the fact that he's so short he can see past people's shoulder pads, and it makes for a clearer field vision. I don't know, but they're gonna stop kicking to him like Carolina did today. They didn't kick to him at all, man. They did a really great game keeping the ball out of his hands.
Right.
But on the odd chance you make that dumbass move and kick to him, it could go to the house anytime. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, then I want to just go over. I think the position coaches need some praise, man. I really think they do, because Nielsen's boys are balling out. I don't care who's going in there. Patchwork plus everybody going into that joint, which is a testament to Jeff Ireland too, to give him those guys. But everybody going in there is just next man upping us to death. Like, they don't care what, who, how. Let's just get in there. We're not losing a beat with anybody. Right. We might have suffered a little bit on the Russian defense a bit when Sheldon Shimmy went on down, but other than that, man, I mean, we seriously the same kind of defense, attacking style, pressure style with the front four, not a lot of blitzes. You know what I'm saying? So I think Nielsen deserves a lot. And then you got Nolan, who his boys, I mean, god darn, AJ Klein is playing like a monster. We was calling him like, I mean, I know he's one of your favorite guys,
right?
But we was calling for his head like the middle of the season. Like, what the heck is he doing? Get him out of there! I kept seeing the back of his jersey, like the same reason Malcolm Jenkins got out of here. Even though we think it's a bad move that he got out of here, because of his all-around game. But shit, he got burnt more than anybody. You know what I'm saying? So Klein was the same way. Now this dude, like the last 3 games, or since he got back from injury, 2 sacks this game, interception, a sack. I think he had 2 sacks last game, right? Or a sack last game. This dude's going crazy, man.
He had a sack last game, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, who was the defensive linebacker? Who was the linebackers coach before Mr. Nolan?
What's his name? I forgot the guy's name.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. He went to Miami with Adam Gase. Adam Gase, I think, is married to his niece or something.
Right.
Joe Vitt.
Right.
I think Joe Vitt. It was
absolute
Vitt.
bum.
Yeah.
We have more linebackers come through here that went somewhere else and been successful. He couldn't develop. That cat, Joe Vitt, man, he could not develop a negative picture of a great linebacker if he tried hard. That man was garbage. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't do anything with anything he ever had. No talent, ever graduated to a half decent player under him. Everybody got pushed out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then you got Aaron Glenn, who ain't going to be here. I guarantee you he's not going to be here past this season. But look who you got. He got a couple boys. I mean, Laddie Daddy that made strides to be arguably the best cornerback in the league. If he had like by his own admission, 1 bad game last year. You know what I'm saying? And this year I ain't seen really 1 bad game. I've seen a couple bad plays. I haven't seen a bad game, and then he's got CJ Garner. Like, oh my God, he got this kid. I mean, credit him for sheer talent. But, when you say will is a lot to do with the belief in the coach, and putting you in position to do, the right thing and teaching you the right way to do it. You know what I mean? So will becomes a byproduct of that as well as your own ability. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then he got PJ playing multiple positions. You know what I mean? First half of the season, Eli was balling out better than he ever did in New York. I mean, these position coaches are doing it for us, man. So I don't know. I think it's just a great thing right now. I don't care if we go to the moon and play the Saturn moon puppies. It don't matter. We're gonna kick everybody's hiney, man. I don't have a fear about anybody. The 49ers, DA, get your head out your booty. Like I always say every week, get your head out your booty. Let's play some ball. Don't let the 49ers score 40-something points again. And you know what I'm saying? It won't be. Yeah, I think they scored that much because they were in the dome and heard you can't. Should we play them in 49erville where they're all comfortable? It'd be like, oh snap, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. Why are they doing this to us? They crowd is so mediocre and it'd be half the black and gold in the audience. You know what I'm saying? So it won't in the stands. So it won't even make. I think it'd be an adverse effect for them. They were kind of hyped because of the situation. Right. You know what I mean? I believe anyway.
Right.
But yeah, so I just wanted to get into time and a couple different points, man. I didn't have no real bullet points prepared or whatever. I was doing some work earlier today, but then I called it quits. Like, you know what? I'm going home. I ain't going none of this. You know what I mean? My girl was looking at me lopsided too, like I ain't even seen you since I got a gray beard hair since she last saw me face to face. Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, so yeah, anyway, bro, I just wanted to holler, and I know you was trying to get out of here, so I'm gonna let us all go. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to get in. I couldn't let you get past without me hollering at you.
Well, it's a tradition, Scoob, to holler at Scoob on the post game, man. You know how that go, fam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like to bring up the rear too. My dad was one of them reverends who had the ministry of pulling up the rear, so to speak. That nigga would be that person would be the last one in the church. Even when we went on long drives, he'd be the car in the back going 55 miles an hour. If you had a flat, we're gonna be there till 2 a.m. fixing that flat. You know what I'm saying? So I learned how to pull up the rear from a young age. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
So that's how it go. I'm back cleanup. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, so. Anyway, let me holler at you. And we got to remember now, we all know this now, there's no more Paul the historian unless we're being really, really kind. It's Uncle Paulie now. It's Uncle Paulie. That's his new nickname. Uncle Paulie. Long as he happy like he was today, boy. I think he was over. See, Debbie said she had some eggnog and cookies. I think Paul went over there and had a glass of eggnog and put his little rum and his little juice in the glass or something. He was feeling real good about it today, boy. I was loving that. I love me some Uncle Paulie.
He did say he was happy, man. He said he felt good about the win. They made him happy, man.
What? He said played the most complete game of the season. I'm like, hallelujah. Where we get that one? Okay, Paul, let's go, baby. We're going to win for Paul, goddammit. Screw that. Uncle Paulie put him on. No, Uncle Paulie was probably next in line behind the butcher. Like, if you don't get it together.
Believe it. Paul going to let you
all
hit.
Right, man. That's correct. That is correct. Oh, snap. I mean, he's been around so long, man. He'd heard so much and seen so much, been disappointed. He probably even got a brown bag in his basement. You know, he keep walking down that joint, walk past every once in a while like, man, we'll never put that on again. Yeah, I mean. So, all right, baby. I love you, man. Love the family. And I was so sad to see you saying we was finna roll. I was like, no, let me call. I put everybody, gave everybody else another 10 minutes. So.
It's all good, Scoob. It's all good, fam. That's talking to Scoob on the post game. That's a tradition. Just like Paul. Just like Uncle Paulie.
Oh, yeah, right. That's right. All right, baby. So love you, man. Keep it up. Put in the good work. Oh, yo. And I really wanted to say really quick, just for 5 more seconds. Yo, your numbers is increasing, Pepper. You doing big things there, bro.
The family growing.
Every time
bro.
I look, man. Yeah, man. It's growing like wildfire. I'm loving it. You know, I don't got nothing to do with it, but you know what I'm saying?
You got a lot to do with it, bro. It's the family, bro. You, Derek, everybody, bro. Adrian, Paul, it's just a great family. Demi, Cheryl, Tyra, Robert, Everybody, man. There's so many of them. T Dirty, Troy. I mean, Sean.
Steve, Sean C.
Yeah.
Dada banishing our foes to the cheap seats really quick.
Tramal, everybody. So many great people out there, man. The name, I could literally spend an hour giving shots out and credit to all the beautiful Black and Gold family members and the family growing, bro. You know, like I said, you know, it's just great, man. Great, excellent. I just love it, man. I feel honored for it, man. It's a blessing.
Yep. All right, baby. Keep on doing what you do.
Thank you, School, bro. You be safe out there in Philly, bro. And who that to you?
Love you. Holla at you. Who that?
Who that? That my boy, School. Man, appreciate you, School. Good dude, bro. Love him. Love it. Just get no better than that, man. Just great. All the beautiful Black and Gold family members, all the love you get. It is humbling, man. No doubt about it, man. I'd like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members for joining. 985 says, bring out Reverend Saint. Tramal says, Reverend Saint, put that pimp juice. Nah, baby, let me tell you something, baby. Today, baby, let me tell you something. I'm a Q. I got this, baby. You can go ahead on, Q. I'm going to let you go ahead on, baby. I'll close the show today, baby. How y'all doing, babies? How y'all doing today, babies? Y'all doing good out there, babies? I'm going to holler at you, babies. I'm just saying hello to all the babies out there, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. Today, that was what I'm talking about, baby. 42-10, baby. How you feel that? How you love that, baby? 13-3 on the day, baby. I'm telling you, baby, don't get no better than that, baby. And what did we do, baby? We took down a Niner, baby. We took down a Titan, baby. We took down them all, baby. I'll tell you, baby. It don't matter if you a cat, rat, or dog, baby. We're going to take you down, baby. It don't mean if you call yourself a Titan or a Giant, baby. We're going to take you down, baby. Bottom line, baby. Who that to all the Black and Gold family members in the building, baby? I'd like to say I give a special shout out to the Black and Gold Nation, baby. The Sports Coma Nation, the Great Saints Think Tank, baby. I'm just all big shout out to all the family members, baby. Thank y'all for all that you do, baby. I love y'all, baby. God is a Saints fan, baby. You know that's my favorite saying, baby. Everywhere I go, baby, I say it, baby. I say it and I mean it, baby. God is a Saints fan, baby. You gave you Janoris Jenkins, baby. And I'm telling you, baby, when you become a Saint, baby, it change your perspective, baby. It changed it. I'm telling you, baby. So I'm giving a big shout out to all the family members, baby. Q done left the building, baby. I gave him time off. I said, Q, go ahead, baby. I got it. I'm going to close the show, baby. I'm going to close it. So I'm just going to put it to you like that, family, baby. Appreciate the babies for joining us today on Sports Coma, baby. And I know I ain't never get the chance, baby, to close the show, baby. But I'm going to tell you something, baby. I'm going to close the show today, baby. Thank you, all the Black and Gold family members out there, baby. It was a great regular season year, baby. We did everything we were supposed to do, baby. We took them all down, baby. And guess what, baby? Going into the playoffs, baby, it's going down, baby, in the playoffs, baby. No doubt about it, baby. Remember, God is a Saints fan, baby. Remember that God is a Saints fan, baby. I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining us, baby. And I'm going to see y'all later, baby. Who that, baby?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like Q always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.